right, greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome to our Sunday morning live stream. For the next 2 hours here, we'll, of course, be talking all things fantasy football for Week 10 of the 2022 fantasy football season. All right, so, of course, we're watching the game on the other monitor. A very interesting halftime score, 14-0. The Seattle Seahawks better wake up, very soon. Otherwise, a lot of our fantasy teams are going to be in trouble, but let's hope they do so. Either way, as you guys can see to the right side of the screen, we have updated rankings for Week 10 that do not include any of the players who have already played this week, which includes the Thursday game and or players who are currently active, participants in the game in Germany. So you will see my top 36 updated running back rankings along with my top 36 wide receivers, top 16 quarterbacks, and tight ends. If you guys have any questions regarding them, this is in a half PPR scoring format, 4-point per passing touchdown league. Couple indicators that I probably want to give first and foremost, and I'll probably mention this as we progress throughout today's live stream on multiple occasions, but my assumption is that Matthew Stafford is out. With that being the case, I'm still playing Cooper Kupp without a doubt in my mind. It is just, we have to start him. There's nothing really what we can do. As for Kyler Murray, I'm assuming he's also out. A lot of people will probably ask about the potential of playing Colt McCoy. Again, approach with your own discretion. There's a lot of implied risk with playing backup quarterbacks, especially in that kind of a circumstance against the LA Rams defense. As for Ezekiel Elliott, you will not see him on the screen because my assumption is as well with him that he's not going to play. Now, a player that is on today's ranking screen is Josh Allen. He's my number 3 quarterback, under the assumption that he is going to play because they did not elevate Barkley from the practice squad to the active roster. Therefore, my anticipation is that he will play, and he'll play well. So hopefully that kind of gives you guys a little bit of a baseline, and that's pretty much covering it. If you guys do end up asking any questions, be sure to include your scoring format, whether it is a standard league, half PPR, full PPR. Certainly does give me a little bit of a better, gives me a little bit better footing in terms of being able to navigate your question and give you the best possible suggestion that I can for today's episode. Do appreciate that. Outside of that, let's get into this, shall we? I want to watch this. Okay, let me just change a couple things here. Move this there. Okay, we're good. All right. The halftime report will take a little while, but either way. All right, so let's get into some of these questions, shall we? I see that Trojan sent in a question real quick. Thank you, Trojan. Appreciate that. Says, are we flexing Judy or Kareem Hunt this week, Andrew? I'm going to flex Judy this week there. Thank you. Chad sends in a question, says, I'm in a full PPR league, okay, and you get 10-plus points per 40-yard pass, rush, or catch. Okay. That's a lot of points for just a 40-yard play, but okay. I need a flex plus running back. I have Najee Harris, Jeff Wilson, Michael Pittman Jr., Claypool, Brandon Cooks, Treylon Burks. So, of the group, considering the format, everything taken into account, I'm probably playing both of your running backs there, Chad. I'm probably playing Jeff Wilson and Najee Harris. I feel most comfortable with those two because I'm not going to play Treylon Burks this week, specifically against Denver secondary. Brandon Cooks just got his captain badge taken away and, his little patch. I don't know what we're going to see out of him. Obviously, he's still questionable to play with the wrist injury. Claypool's still getting integrated within that offense. And then Michael Pittman Jr., he's such a question mark at this point because I don't know what to expect from that offense that we're probably going to lean in the direction of playing your 2 stud running backs there. Let's go with Najee and Jeff Wilson. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Gucci Han Louis Han says, my guy, no Chase Claypool on this list. As of right now, in a half PPR scoring format, just to confirm, I have Chase Claypool at 45 amongst all wide receivers. So we have a top 36 here. I do not have Chase Claypool in this conversation. No, well, actually, this is 45, including, all the guys that are still playing. So including, so if you technically take away those 4 players, he'd be 41. Yeah, he'd be 41. So he's in that kind of top 40 conversation, but I don't trust it enough to just blindly play it within this given week. I need a little bit more of another convincing performance that the opportunity is going to continue to be there. And then at that point, I could probably progress forward with him in my starting lineup. Appreciate it. Kicks for Mike says, pick 2 PPR, Hopkins, Pollard, Dalvin, Pierce. If I'm picking 2 out of this group, it's absolutely first and foremost, I'm playing Pollard. And then if the second option has to be one of those other 3, I'm probably playing Pierce there. Pierce and Pollard. Thank you. Colin Smith says, wait for Zeke or start Melvin Gordon. If you, let's say for example, Colin Smith, if you were to wait for Zeke in the afternoon slate of games, what's the chance? I mean, not even what's the chances. What exactly are you going to play if he doesn't go, right? Because I'm looking at this afternoon slate of games. Colts, Raiders. I don't know if there's any running backs there you could theoretically pick up and play. Cardinals, Rams. I don't think there'll be anybody there either. Chargers, 49ers. Again, another one of those situations. Commanders, Eagles. Unless you're... at this point, I'm probably saying let's just play Melvin Gordon because my assumption is that they're not going to play Zeke. And even if they do play him, he's probably in such a limited capacity that it's not going to be significant enough to want to roll with that. Unless you have like A.J. Dillon as another option that you could potentially roll with. Thank you. Let's see here. Trojan says standard league Gabriel Davis or Christian Kirk with Allen playing now. Yeah, I'm still going to play Christian Kirk there, even in a standard scoring format. Appreciate that. Matthew Rosado says, should I trade Kamara for Chase in a half PPR scoring format? I'd say probably not. I mean, if you're so comfortable at running back to where you can be giving away Kamara and not even blinking an eye for a player that may not be the same once he returns from injury, I think that's you'd be in a very stable position where you have like Henry, Chubb, and like Saquon, right? Like you'd have to have 3 significantly better running backs than Kamara to be giving him away in that capacity in half PPR. So at this point, I'd probably say no. But again, I don't know what the rest of your team looks like, but that's a conversation for another time, I suppose. Let's see here. XD's 4325 says Swift or Palmer in a standard league. I'm playing Swift. Again, so what you guys will see on screen is that I have Swift and Jonathan Taylor highly ranked. And that isn't by accident, it is by design. The fact that they both were full participants in practice by Friday is all I needed to see to have the confidence to go ahead and, of course, play them this week. And that's what exactly I'm going to do. We know how much talent both those guys have within offenses that obviously want to first and foremost run the ball. So we're leaning in their directions as of this week, as of today. Thank you. But as for your question, if we're talking about Swift, JT, or Wilson in a PPR XDs, yeah, I'm going to go with Swift there. I'm going with Swift in both capacities, actually, in both those leagues that you're talking about. Thank you. Sergio, what's up, man? Says, pick 3 out of these 4 options. Ayuk, Palmer, Gabe, Deontay. All right, so of the options available, yeah, I think I'm just going to sit Gabe Davis. Ayuk, Palmer, and Deontay are the guys that I'm going to roll with. The only reason I would ever play Gabe Davis over Deontay Johnson this week is if, in fact, we were talking about a league in which it wasn't a half or full PPR. It was a standard league. That's the only time I would ever consider it. So that's where I'm going. Let's see here. Moving on. We have Jay Klein. Says, sup, brother? Non-PPR, okay? Kirk or Palmer? I'm probably going to go with Christian Kirk there. Mainly because he has more touchdown upside. Or at least we've witnessed more touchdown upside from him in comparison to Chargers wide receivers this year, not named Mike Williams. So at this point, yeah, we're going to go with Christian Kirk there. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate that. Let's see here. Will Dissly, huh? He's carving him up a little bit there. Okay, the offense at least is moving a little bit for the Seahawks. Anthony Ort sends in a question. Thank you very much, Anthony. Appreciate that. Says, start 2 PPR, Olave, Pierce, Amon-Ra, St. Brown. Okay, good question. I think, let me go ahead and confirm this. In terms of a full PPR, where do I have Pierce in comparison to these guys? Full PPR. Olave's there. Pierce is there. Amon-Ra's there. So, yeah, as of this moment, in my PPR rankings, nice catch, DK. I have Amon-Ra at 18. I have Chris Olave at, I have Amon-Ra 18, Dameon Pierce 21, Chris Olave 22. So I would go with Pierce and St. Brown. Thank you. Again, there's a back-to-back ranking between Pierce and Olave, so I do expect them to have similar, semblance of points by the end of the week. But if I had to prefer to pick one, it's the guy who's getting a higher volume of touches within the given week, has more upside for multiple touchdowns in that capacity. Thank you. Gabriella sends in a question. Says, available flex, Brandon Cooks or Schultz? Yeah, in a PPR, I think I just feel far more comfortable playing Dalton Schultz this week there. Thank you. Again, I mentioned this on multiple occasions this week already. The fact that we are in a situation where Dalton Schultz, over the course of the last 2 weeks, since Dak Prescott has returned to the lineup, has been the leading receiver in terms of total receptions made, does give me that much more confidence in continuing to play him in that sort of capacity. We'll continue to have red zone upside whenever that play action game opens itself up. Geno Smith is just making some interesting decisions right now. Moving on, Mr. 305 says, would you start Brissett over Kirk and Goff? Yeah, I would. The primary reason why I would start him over Kirk Cousins has to do with the weather in Buffalo today. Kirk Cousins isn't a really, he hasn't been known to be one of the better cold game quarterbacks. Anytime he's outdoors and there's a lot of pressure in his face, there's a problem. So as of right now, not too interested in playing Kirk Cousins in that capacity in comparison to Jacoby Brissett. And then as for Goff, Goff's not even on the list for a reason. I'm not really too inclined to play Goff today. Even though I do think he'll probably come away with a touchdown minimum. It's a matter of the total upside and what we can see. If Swift really does bring back an extra level to this offense to where they get to that next point, we could have a conversation there. But until then, it's going to be tough. Having CMC sends in a question, says full PPR, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex, Adam Thielen, Gabriel Davis, George Pickens, Rondell Moore, DPJ. Okay, we have the entire list of players here. Tony, AJ Dillon, Kieran Williams, Jalen Waddle, or Jalen Warren. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, so if we're playing 2 wide receivers in a flex in this position, it is going to be Rondell Moore, George Pickens, and then if I'm playing a flex, it's probably rolling. Well, in a full PPR, it's a little bit different, but I'm probably leaning towards. Yeah, I don't think it'd be worth playing AJ Dillon at that point, especially as long as Aaron Jones is active. So at that point in the full PPR, let me go ahead and confer with my rankings from earlier today. Where the heck is this thing? Yeah, it would be Rondell Moore first and foremost. Then it's going to be George Pickens and then Adam Thielen. Thank you. Appreciate that. Heavy CMC. Bobby King says Singletary or Deontay Johnson full PPR. All right, let's see here. Where do we have Singletary in comparison to him? Let's Control F, Singletary. And then, so yeah, I have Deontay Johnson at 54 and Singletary at 58. So Deontay would take the cake on that one. Thank you. Appreciate it. Sergio says, what's up? The league that I'm in is a standard. Forgot to put that in my last question. I have Josh Allen. Could run with my stack. I'm stuck between those 4. Ayuk, Palmer, Deontay, and Gabe. Okay, so if it is a standard format, I'm rolling with Ayuk, Palmer, and Gabriel Davis. I'd bench Deontay Johnson because Deontay Johnson has lesser potential upside for touchdowns within the offense, considering the way it's constructed this year in comparative to last year. So, yeah, I'd roll the stack there with Josh Allen and Gabe Davis with Ayuk and Palmer. Thank you, Sergio. Appreciate it. Nel Santiago says, hey, Kirk, PPR, need 2. We have Dylan, Thielen, Connor, Elijah Mitchell, and Pickens. In a PPR scoring format, I'm playing Connor and I'm playing Pickens there. Thank you. Appreciate it. Did Myers make the field goal? Somebody tell me yes. He, in fact, did. Okay, good. Whew. Got me a little scared there for a second. This man's he's got to make one more field goal today because I have him on a prize pick entry where I picked 1.5 or I picked more than 1.5 field goals made. So, man's has got to lock in and start kicking up a couple more of those and we're going to be in a better position here. Appreciate it. Myers 55-yarder, that's what we like to see, especially in a fantasy league where you get like 5 points for a 55-yarder. That's a monster kick right there. We love to see it. Okay, so Donovan sent in the question. Said Deebo Samuel or Josh Palmer in full PPR. I'm going to go with Deebo there. And then as for your follow-up, Ertz or Dulcich, I'm going Dulcich. Thank you. Little Boy Blue 619 says drop Latavius Murray for Kieran Williams. Okay, this is what I'll say about Kieran Williams. My current ranking of Kieran Williams is fully speculatory. I have nothing to actually... There isn't an actual word from the head coach or the team that I have seen that has said that Kieran Williams is going to be the starting back of this team. I am purely speculating on the idea that they wouldn't have completely waived and cut Malcolm Brown from the team if they weren't going to then activate Kieran Williams, which they did. He had a full week of practice, and then use him on Sunday. That's my assumption, is that they wanted to go ahead and give Kieran Williams the benefit of the doubt. They're going to throw him into the lineup and give him as many opportunities as they can to see if he can be the starting running back of this team. At least give him a chance, especially against the Cardinals, which it is an advantageous matchup. That's my assumption. Now, again, it's risky. So if, in fact, you're in a position where you're thinking to yourself, All right. Do I want to play Latavius Murray or play Kareem Williams? Right now, I have Latavius Murray ahead of him. So as for who's potentially better in my eyes this week in terms of safety, in terms of potential touches, I would lean towards Latavius. Now, I think there's so much inherent risk with making the drop and switch, because if in fact Kareem Williams does do nothing this week, not only are you losing a running back that is in a valuable position, or at least an RB3 position for the remainder of the year, but then you're left with a little bit of a dud there. So if you're looking at the rest of your bench at running back and perhaps people are on bye and that's the reason why you have to make this move, understood. But outside of that, it'd be a tough move for me to 1000% suggest there, Little Boy Blue. Appreciate it. Jan says, how come Swift is higher than in the previous vid? What previous vid? You talking about Tuesday? Is that what we're talking about? I'm going to assume that's what we're mentioning. On Tuesday, we had no information as to whether or not he was even going to be a full participant or even play this week. So I ranked him relatively low under the assumption that he would be limited, similar to the way he was in week 9. So the fact that we did see him practice at a full capacity on Friday with no limitations leads me to believe that the organization is now in a position where they're like, all right, he's fully healthy. We let him completely rip off an entire Friday practice. We're about to throw him into the lineup and bring back Swift the way that he was in week 1 and in years prior. So that's why he's moved up in my rankings, because he got a full participation of practice. And typically when you do so, that means you're fully healthy. So I don't think the ankle and or shoulder are going to be bothering him anytime soon. Appreciate it, Jen. Paul Getz says, Superflex, second quarterback, Josh Allen or Jacoby Brissett? It's Josh Allen there. Even if Josh Allen doesn't throw the ball today, I think his rushing upside, like we talked about on our Thursday quarterback rankings video, last week, he had, 80 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns just off rushing statistics alone. So 20 fantasy points just came from rushing statistics. I very easily believe that is an achievable number this week in terms of what he's capable of accomplishing. There was a question in the chat. Where did it go? I just saw one that I wanted to address. I can't believe I missed it. There it is. Wait, where is it? Never mind. I completely lost it. Oh, here it is. If Kyler can't go, this is from Andrew Clark. If Kyler can't go, McCoy, Walford, or Heineke, yeah, I play Colt McCoy. Colt McCoy is probably in a position where amongst all the backup quarterbacks that could potentially start this week, he is the best. Within the offense, we've seen him specifically last year be pretty efficient in the opportunities he's been given. Obviously, he's still a backup quarterback, so his upside's capped to a capacity, but he's still a talented enough player to where, in comparison to those others, yes, I'd play him. Let's see here. Alan Anderson says, defensive rankings. You know what? Yeah, let's do that. Let's talk about defense and kicker ranking, shall we? Let me see Julio Jones catch a pass. You know what I love here? Julio Jones is playing well. But knowing Julio Jones, he's not going to play next week. He's going to get hurt, and he's not going to play next week. And that's just so sad because he's such a talented player. But he's getting older, and that's just the fact of the matter. All right, let's see here. Kicker rankings, shall we? Defense and kicker rankings. Okay, so let's talk about defenses. So I have top 10 here available for me. So top 10 defenses for the week remaining. Here we go. Number 1, Philadelphia Eagles. Number 2, Dallas Cowboys. Number 3, New York Giants. Number 4, Buffalo Bills. Number 5, San Francisco 49ers. Number 6, Las Vegas Raiders. Number 7, Denver Broncos. Number 8, we have the Kansas City Chiefs. Number 9, Arizona Cardinals. Number 10, Los Angeles Rams. Thank you. Moving on. Let's talk about the other side of this coin. Top 10 remaining kickers for the week. We have number 1, Daniel Carlson. Number 2, Graham Gano. Number 3, Brett Maher. Number 4, Cade York. Number 5, Harrison Butker. Number 6, Tyler Bass. Number 7, Will Lutz. Number 8, Brandon McManus. Number 9, Robbie Gould. And number 10, Kaimi Fairbairn. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. We'll probably go ahead and mention that once again in some sort of capacity later on in today's episode. Leonard Fournette actually getting yardage. Oh my goodness. Love to see it. I saw he scored a touchdown earlier. That's great to see. Moving on. Let's see here. Who was after Paul Getz? We have Michael Amato. Thank you very much. Says 3 wide receivers plus 1 flex. It's a full PPR scoring format. I'm already starting Cup. Pick 3 out of the following players. Okay, cool. So we have Ayuk, Gabriel Davis, Palmer, Pittman, DPJ, And then we have, you said Pittman and Gabriel Davis kind of scare me. I mean, listen, trust me, they scare me as well. They're definitely the sketchier options within this entire position. That's mainly why I'm going to lean towards just straight first and foremost suggesting Josh Palmer and Ayuk is the 1 and 2. If then we're pivoting to a number 3 option in a full PPR scoring format, let me see here. Full PPR. Where's my wide receivers? Ayuk and Palmer are first and foremost. And then the next man up in this regard. Yeah, I think there's an argument to be made that DPJ just takes his spot just to get you a flat 10 points and not even mess around. Is that the way to go here? Or do we go for total upside? I think it's probably smart within the matchup just to play DPJ, get a free 10 points, and just move on. I know Gabriel Davis is certainly capable of it, but there's so much potential volatility there. I don't know if you can afford another one of these like 3-point weeks where he doesn't do anything and then you're in trouble because Cooper Kupp will be at a limited capacity overall. He's not going to be the normal Cooper Kupp considering it's a backup quarterback and it's the Cardinals matchup. So you're already going to be in need of points. So I think you just play DPJ there with Ayuk and Palmer. Cinco2X says full PPR. Flex 1, Rondale Moore. Who's that? Jarvis Landry or James Conner? If we're playing... Wait, what the heck is this? Nice catch by Godwin on the sideline. Does Conner get a boost if Murray is out? I mean, I think he gets a slight boost, but let me check here. It purely depends as to where do I have these guys in my rankings. Let's see. Control F, Conner. So I have Conner there. Yeah, Conner's going to be... Is he ahead of him? Where's Rondale Moore on this list? Yeah, he's ahead of him. In my full PPR rankings, I have James Conner ahead of him. So that's where I would be going. Appreciate that, Cinco. Thank you. Brady looks solid today. Yeah, I mean, that was the hope, right? That last week's victory was going to kind of ignite a little bit of a spark. Are they running a lot of Wildcat right now? Is this an actual thing? Hey, yo, when is... Oh, my God, Lenny threw the ball. I was going to say, when is Lenny throwing the... Oh, my God, he threw a pick. That may have been the worst pass I've ever seen by an actual professional athlete. Might literally be the worst. Please tell me it was a defensive penalty, right? Because that was, I mean... All right, I got to stop watching the game. I'm going to get pissed off. I'm going to lose it. That's such a... I mean, what? I just can't. I can't. No more. Okay. Daniel Glover in the chat was saying, hey, would you start Danny Dimes or Goff? I would play Danny Dimes. Again, for those of you who are just joining me this morning, if you guys could click the like button down below, we'd greatly appreciate that. But in terms of what we have on screen, we have updated rankings. So in regards to your question, first and foremost, I have Daniel Jones as my number 9 ranked quarterback going into, of course, the rest of the Sunday slate / Monday. And then I don't have Jared Goff there, which... Oh, actually, I do have Jared Goff there. Wait, why do I have Jared Goff in my top 15? What have I done? Either way, I'm going to assume that Andrew from last night, who was making these rankings, is far more equipped than I am at this moment. So, I don't know what the heck that... Why is Jared Goff at 15? I'm beginning to question his ranking there. Either way, we're playing Daniel Jones. Let's not get away from the primary question here. We'll figure out what we want to do with Jared Goff in just a moment. Let's see here. Brady fell, yeah, but even if Brady didn't fall, you think Brady's going up and making that catch? You think he's going to moss that secondary guy? There's no shot. Let's see here. GP Hill 23 says 3 stashes, rest of the season, half PPR. Gus, Jamison Williams, Brian Robinson, Kieran Williams, Cam Akers. This week, Josh Allen or Fields, Khalil Herbert or Pickens. At this point, in a half PPR, I'm going to play... I'm playing Pickens over Herbert. I'm playing Josh Allen over Fields. And then in terms of stashes for the remainder of the season, it's Gus Edwards. It's Gus Edwards, Jamison Williams, and Brian Robinson. I think as much as I'd like... Wait, it's Gus Edwards, Jamison Williams, Brian Robinson. Because as much as I like Kieran Williams, I just don't know. you could stash him today, but if today doesn't go well, he's an immediate drop, and then you're moving on, right? So it's a make or break day. So at that point, I don't mind picking him up and just dropping one of the other two running backs, but I surely want to have Jameson Williams on my team for the December slate of games there. Thank you. All right, let's see here. Darrell Henderson or Elijah Mitchell? Yeah, I'd play Darrell Henderson instead of Elijah Mitchell there. I do expect Elijah Mitchell to play, obviously. Coming off the IR, was activated, but not at a higher enough capacity to where I would trust him. BZ says, Jacoby a good play today? That's my assumption, yes. Playing against Miami, how well he's played as of late, it's certainly a good look for this week. Ryan says, I need a defense. Should I drop New England, Drake, or Jalen Warren? I'd rather drop Jalen Warren. Just get rid of him off the roster. Let's go get another defense there, Ryan. Keep Drake just in case, because if they come off that bye week and then J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards aren't ready, you can get another good week out of Drake there, potentially. All right, let's see here. Is Kenneth Walker going to do anything today? Because that would be really helpful for us. Okay, instead we have Geno scrambling. All right. Justice in the chat was asking Olave or Amon-Ra St. Brown. Again, like you guys can see on screen, we have updated rankings. Amon-Ra is ahead of Olave. And I can tell you, even though the rankings on screen are for a half PPR, I still have Amon-Ra higher in a full PPR scoring format. Thank you. Let's see here. Hans Peter says, PPR, Olave, Swift, Pollard, or CeeDee Lamb. We're benching one. Goodness gracious, huh? If we're benching one, I think we talked about this yesterday in terms of, let me confirm this. Where the heck is my PPR rankings for these wider? Oh, here it is. So we have Olave there. As of right now, in a full PPR scoring format, I have Swift ranked the lowest. He's 2 spots behind CeeDee Lamb, so he would be the bench spot. Thank you. Bo says, trusting Connor over Jeff Wilson this week? Yes. I feel pretty comfortable in doing so. All right, let's see here. What do we have? Geno Smith, checking it down to Noah Fant. Those tight ends are killing them, huh? It's a good matchup. In the chat, do you think David Montgomery is a safer play than Jonathan Taylor? Safer? I don't think he's technically safer. No. I mean, is he in an offense that I can trust more today? Yes. Technically, yes. But is it an offense that I'm going to blindly trust just because it's in a little bit of a better position? Probably not. I think if you're, yeah. Is it safer though? No, I don't think it's safer. I think it's in a position to where they're both professional teams. Both are going to put their best foot forward. Obviously, if one doesn't perform, so be it. But I think there isn't technically a safer option between the two. If Taylor was questionable to play with an ankle, right, and there was a question regarding his health, then at that point I would say he would be, David Montgomery would be safer. But there's no question matter of health. He had a full practice all week long. Let's see here. Hunt or Henderson in a full PPR. I'm fairly certain I have Hunt ahead of Henderson today. Thank you. Let's see here. Michael Myers says, start one full PPR. Melvin Gordon, Deontay Johnson, A.J. Dillon. I'm going to go Deontay Johnson there. Thank you, Michael Myers. Appreciate it. Let's see here. Full PPR, Brandon Cooks or Hollins in the flex. Yeah, at this point, I think it probably is a little... Man, Metcalf is carving him up, huh? I think at this point, it might just be better to not play Brandon Cooks ultimately this week. I think I'm going to actually change my rankings because I'm thinking Brandon Cooks could be a legit trap, and I don't want you guys getting caught up by it. It may just be a better idea just to avoid it at all costs. Which then presents the question of who's up next on this rankings list. I got to figure that out before I make any updates. And I also want to move Jared Goff off there. I don't know what the heck I was thinking. Maybe we leave him up there. Maybe the Andrew of the past. Maybe Andrew with a full clear mind last night was in a better position than I am currently. Let's see here. Justin sent in a question. Says, I benched Foreman for Khalil. Wait, what? I benched Foreman for Khalil Herbert. Right call? No. What made you do that, my man? We had Foreman significantly higher than Khalil Herbert on Tuesday's ranking video. So yeah, let's hope for the best, Justin. But yeah, that was not the the correct call between those two. Derek Brown says, in a 6-point per passing touchdown league, Murray, Tannehill, Goff, or Jones. If we're picking one in a 6-point, I'm probably just going to play Daniel Jones, mainly because you're probably in a position where you can't wait until Murray actually plays, because who else would you pivot to if Murray doesn't play in the afternoon slate, right? Let me see here. So Murray plays against the Rams. Would there be a pivot option? You don't have any pivot options. So you just play Daniel Jones this morning. Or sorry, in about an hour and a half, you play Daniel Jones. Thank you, Derek. Appreciate it. Joe Swanson says, start one, Judy, Herbert, Pickens, Mostert. In a half PPR, I'm playing Judy in a half PPR there. Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's see here. Tony says, I have Goddard and Kittle as my tight ends. Should I play one in the flex over Pittman or Rondell Moore? Yes, I would. I'd play both of them. I'd play one over the I'd play Kittle as the regular tight end and then Goddard at the flex. You could go either way. It doesn't matter. Remy says, how confident are you with Swift? Again, based on my ranking, I think that should give you a little bit of an indication. Considering I have him at a point where he's not in the top, like he's not firmly planted within the top 12, right? He's just on the outside, right? Mainly because I expect him to play at a far greater capacity than he did last week, but there is still the looming threat of Jamaal Williams. Goal line touches stolen, rushing attempts stolen over the course of the game. So I trust that he is healthy, and I trust that they're going to get him the ball. I just don't trust that he'll get all the fantasy points in this backfield, which lowers his value in my eyes. Now, does it lower it significantly enough to where I don't trust him? No. I still trust him because the talent itself is far too efficient, regardless of if there's a couple opportunities taken away here or there. So I'm pretty confident in playing him. It's just a matter of at what capacity. Obviously, not as high as some of the other running back prospects that we have available to us this week. Let's see here. Champagne Fantasy says, why Deontay Johnson over Devin Singletary? It was a full PPR scoring format. I don't truly expect Devin Singletary to get as much fantasy point contribution if, in fact, Nyheim Hines is going to get that expanded role this week. I think there's a reason why they brought in Nyheim Hines. It's to utilize him in that kind of third down back capacity. And they still have James Cook there. So if Josh Allen's active, whenever Josh Allen is active typically, he's running the ball at a pretty high rate. Also, it's their primary running back in the goal line sense. So if we're pretty much siphoning all of his touchdown potential, if we're going to start rotating a lot of his receiving work away from him, his overall baseline of production is relatively low in comparison to where it was from like last week, right? So as you start to trickle away a couple opportunities here and there away from Singletary, which he certainly needs because he doesn't get enough opportunities already, that's what leans me away from him towards Deontay. And of course, the Saints secondary, no Marshawn Lattimore for a fourth consecutive week here, certainly is a pretty good option there for us. Come on, Kenneth Walker. Let's go, baby. Start getting some yards. Alrighty, let's see here. Chris Moraga sends in a question. Says, half PPR Henderson, Rondell Moore, or Khalil Herbert? I'm going to go with Rondell Moore there, probably. Yeah, I will probably play Rondell Moore there out of the bunch. I think Khalil Herbert could end up outscoring him, but it's going to take a lot of rushing attempts that we can't guarantee him to gather this week. Nice pass, dude. Oh, my goodness. Well, if only DK went up with another hand there, that would have been nice. All right, Chef. Chef. I'm just going to call you Chef. Chef says a RB in a flex spot for this week. Amari, Montgomery, Jamal, half PPR. Out of the group, yeah, I'm playing Amari Cooper at the flex, and I'm playing David Montgomery at the running back. Thank you. Would you recommend trading for Chase or nah? Says Evan. At this point, Evan, you have to guarantee that you already have secured a playoff spot. If you can't guarantee that, I think trading for Chase could be very detrimental to your team if you're looking to win the next couple weeks and you don't have a guarantee of doing so. What is Geno doing? I mean, dude, someone play the clown music. Bum, 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 and just let's see the rotation of Geno making stupid plays and then Fournette doing the same. Like, what is that? Oh my goodness. Augustus sends in a question, says Wando Robinson, A-Rob, or Evan Ingram this week in a half PPR scoring format. I'm going to go with Evan Ingram there. Thank you. Abraham Chavez says Standard League, PPR. Do I flex Jamaal Williams or Amon-Ra St. Brown? I play Amon-Ra St. Brown there. Thank you. Even in the Standard, that is correct. I understand Jamaal Williams has that touchdown upside. I'm willing to take the risk. If you want to go differently, that's totally up to you. And we'll keep moving. Andrew Clark with the clown. Yes, the clown. Yeah, I don't understand what the heck he's doing. Like, we're in the red zone. Don't take a sack first and foremost. So let's throw the ball away. There isn't any of your offensive linemen down the field. So it's not like you have to run the ball there. He just, I don't know. Bad decision making. The real Geno Smith is showing up, and I don't like it. I need to see the Geno Smith that we've seen for the last 9 weeks come back. Hurry. In a hurry, please. Let's see here. Charlie says, why Swift over Jamaal Williams? Because he's the better. Okay, let's put it this way. In the opportunities that Swift has been given in comparison to Williams throughout the entirety of the season, he has been a significantly, I mean like tenfold more efficient option when given said opportunities, right? There's a reason why at this moment, or not even just at this moment, after weeks 1 and 2, Swift was averaging 10 yards per carry, right? It was at that level of production. So not only is he more efficient, but he should be getting more snaps and touches today based on the fact that he's fully healthy. So if we're talking about the more efficient back who was the primary starter when the season began, coming back and taking his starting role, why wouldn't I play him over Jamaal Williams? Yes, there's the looming threat of Jamaal Williams taking touchdowns, but there's always the possibility of Swift doing what he does, breaking out a 30-yard run. They don't even get down to the red zone because he's, making plays. So Jamaal purely has relied upon Swift's absence for his value, right? Yes, we can go back to week 1, and Jamaal certainly scored 2 touchdowns within the red zone, but he was also 12 rushing attempts for 26 yards in that game, right? Not efficient. So when I'm looking at it, at this current scope, I'd just rather play Swift. What are these updates I'm seeing? Josh Allen is officially active. Tre'Davious White is inactive as expected. Again, they didn't mention him being a participant today. No problem. We're good to go. Anybody I missed here in terms of questions? I don't think I did in terms of anybody who sent one in via donation. Okay, there were a couple more here, actually. We had... All right, K Young Soo, 25 says half PPR. JT, Jamaal Williams, Josh Palmer, Christian Kirk, pick 2. I'm playing Jonathan Taylor first and foremost, and then the second best option out of that group is probably Christian Kirk. Thank you. There you go, Rashad White. Yeah, shoelace tackled. Derek Brown says full PPR. Jeff Wilson Jr., Donovan Peoples-Jones, Jahan Dotson, and or Naeem Hines. I play Jeff Wilson there. Jeff Wilson is my first choice between the bunch, and then it's DPJ. Thank you. Lucky Slevin says, full PPR, Debo or Christian Kirk. In a full PPR, I'd probably still play Debo there. Thank you. Kevin G says, are you worried about Pollard's production if Zeke plays? Even if Zeke plays, I still leave Pollard at the same ranking. I fully expect Pollard to be the starting back for this team. So I'm not too worried about it. Okay, Rashad White getting caught for -5. That's cool. Nice play there. Slime sends in a question, says Mostert or Sutton this week in the flex. Assuming it's a half PPR, for example, because I don't know what your scoring format is. Assuming it is a half PPR, I'd probably just rather play Sutton there. Thank you. Bill sends in the chat was saying Dak or Tua. Again, guys, for those of you who are just joining us this morning, we have rankings up to date on screen. So I currently do have Tua ahead of Dak Prescott. Thank you. Again, for those of you guys who are asking like why this player over that player, that's the primary reason why I post the videos on Tuesday, Wednesday, to kind of give you guys a little bit of a sense as to why I value them at a current position. Yes, some of those values have changed as we've progressed here, but if I had to explain every single ranking that I've made over today's live stream, we would run out of time. So we're just not going to do that. Let's see here. No, okay, whoa. Okay, so we had Justin sent in a question. Justin said, play Landry over Gabriel Davis if Allen doesn't play. Allen is playing. He's officially active. So I'm still playing Gabriel Davis there over Jarvis Landry, who I don't really trust right now. Nel Santiago says PPR, Thielen or Dylan. I'd play Adam Thielen there. Thank you. Derek Brown, full PPR, Samuel, Hunt, Cooks. Yeah, I'm playing Curtis Samuel there. Actually, no, is that Curtis Samuel or is that Debo Samuel? Because if it's Curtis Samuel, then I'm getting. Give me a second here. I'm removing Brandon Cooks off this ranking. I just can't do it. It's just not worth it. I'm going to play Curtis Samuel there, though, just as a heads up. Where is, let's see here. Let's Control F. Let's remove that. Okay, let's do this. Perfect. Boom, boom. All right, so now your boy's got to open up Photoshop and mess around with it a little bit. And then after I update those rankings, we'll be back and we'll be good to go. But I just don't know if it's worth trusting Brandon Cooks this week. I want to hope that we can, but I just don't know if it's worth it in this position in week 10. All right, so what we'll go ahead and do, we'll take him off the proverbial list. Let's go ahead and let's make an adjustment. Who's next man up here? Next man up would theoretically be Half PPR. Where art thou? Okay, so it's there. Okay. So that's fine. That works for me. Okay, let's file, save this sucker, and then we're good to go. It's going to take a little bit to save. Okay, good. Here we go. Computer's not lagging. Love to see it. Let's go ahead and let's save this as a JPEG to the thumbnail. Boom, bang, bop. All right, cool. No more Brandon Cooks. I just don't know what to do with Brandon Cooks anymore. At this point, it's not safe enough option in my mind. Too many question marks revolving around him, at least specifically. Let's see here. Is D-Hop still a top 10 without Kyler? Yes, I still think so. Mainly because if D-Hop is in a position to where he's active in any sort of capacity, I don't think it matters who his quarterback is. I think he's already proven that in his career, that it doesn't matter who his quarterback is. Whether it's been, I mean, we're talking about guys like Brian Hoyer back in the day. We're talking about guys like Brock Osweiler, TJ Yates. We're talking about some very interesting, quarterback play over the last couple of years, and I'm certainly in the belief that no matter who's at the quarterback position, he's still a pretty good option. And specifically for this week, even though it is a Ramsey matchup, I'm not too worried about it. All right, let's see here. Now that we've covered that, to go back to that question in specific, if we're playing one of those guys, Derek, it's Samuel, whichever Samuel it ends up being. Tyler T says, Murray outplay Rondell Murray outplay Rondell still or Sutton, full PPR. I don't understand what we're talking about here. Because the only Murray I'm thinking about is Latavius Murray. Or we're talking about DeMarco Murray, which again, he's like 7 years retired. But I probably just play Rondell Moore over Sutton, assuming that's your question. I don't know what your question is, Tyler. It's kind of confusing. Thank you. JT says in the question, says, Jeff Wilson or Devonta Smith full PPR. I think we're probably, okay, I'm just going to default to my rankings. I think it is close enough to where, and we'll see in about 2.5 seconds here as to where exactly the separation of value is in my rankings. Devonta Smith is there. Yeah, I have him. Wait, where's Jeff Wilson in comparison? Why am I... Hold up. There we go. Yeah, I have Devonta Smith ahead of Jeff Wilson in a full PPR. Thank you. Appreciate it. David Luna says full PPR, Mooney, Pollard, or Sutton. Yeah, I'm playing Pollard without a doubt in my mind. Mike Kelly says Devonta Smith or Pickens, half PPR. I have Hurts. Yeah, I'm still going to play Devonta Smith there, with or without Hurts in your lineup. So did they just, did Leonard Fournette throw a pick and then they just replaced him at running back? Like he's not playing no more? Like what's the deal here? I don't know. He threw a pick. It's not like he fumbled the ball. I think there's a pretty big difference there. They wanted to play cute and now they just benched him. Like what's going on? Anvesh sends in a question. Let me see what you had to say, Anvesh. Where is your question? Anvesh says, half PPR, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. Swift, Christian, Kirk, Lamb, Palmer. Yeah, I'm going to play Swift. I'm going to play Kirk, and I'm going to play Lamb there. Thank you. Let's see here. What else we got in the chat? Tyler T says Kyler Murray is out. Murray, yeah, dude, that's crazy. How when you said Murray, I didn't even think about Kyler because I already assumed he was out. Like you guys can see on my screen, and like I mentioned when the stream started, I was already working off the assumption that Kyler Murray was out. So either way, yes, even with Kyler Murray out, I would still play Rondale Moore over Courtland Sutton today. Courtland Sutton is in a position where he kind of has to earn my trust because Courtland Sutton, unfortunately, in the last month of play, only has like 5 catches. So I don't know if I could, blindly trust him in that regard. Appreciate it. Let's see here. Antonio Gibson or Josh Palmer in a full PPR. I'd rather play Josh Palmer there. For Driz, who asked in the chat. Dark says Cooks or Pittman. Yeah, I just played Michael Pittman there. How does Godwin still not have a touchdown? I mean, let's think about it this way too. I mean, Mike Evans is working off of 5 consecutive weeks without a touchdown himself. So it's mainly just Brady's fault, right? If Brady just played better this season, then we wouldn't have a problem. But his offensive line is obviously associated with him. So that's another, variable that is definitely something that we want to kind of figure out. But nonetheless. White just ripped off a 30-yard run, did he? I haven't been watching. I didn't know. Kadarius Toney or Jarvis Landry? I have Kadarius Toney a couple spots ahead of him. Do you think Josh Allen plays normal amount? What do you mean normal amount? If you're the starting quarterback of the team, you touch the ball on every single play. So, yes, I expect him to play a normal amount in that kind of position. All right, so you know what I'd love to see? I'd love to see them now put Fournette back into the game and have him punch in a touchdown. Thoughts? Just to save some fantasy weeks. Landon Ramirez says full PPR, Gabriel Davis or Khalil Herbert. Which, yeah, I'm going to play Gabriel Davis there in a full PPR. Thank you. Zinski says Pierce or Pollard, PPR. I'm going to play Pollard there. Debo or Judy? Yeah, at this point, Cap, I'm playing Debo. Can we get a play action pass here for Mike Evans down here on the bottom? We got one-on-one coverage. The safety's playing on the inside of the box. Oh, no. And we get a -1 yard run. Okay, cool. Please give it a Godwin, says David. Yeah, David, I'm all with it. Just give it to anybody other than the backup running back because I don't know how many people are starting with Rachaad White. Let's see here. Kyrie in the chat says PPR. Start 2, Lazard, Gabe Davis, Judy, Palmer. If I'm starting 2 out of that group, it's Lazard and Palmer this week. Thank you, Kyrie. Appreciate it. SS says, please answer. PPR flex, Gibson or Greg Dulcich? I'm going to play Antonio Gibson there. Actually, you know what? Let me check. I probably, in a full PPR, I might actually have Dulcich higher than him. Oh my God, it was Godwin. David, you spoke it into existence. Nice job. I have Greg Dulcich as my number 50 player in PPR. I have Antonio Gibson. Where art thou, Gibson? I have Gibson at 61. So yeah, Greg Dulcich is ahead of him in my rankings. So I'd go with the tight end there. Oh, goodness. Finally. Wait, what's the penalty, guys? Oh, no. Not like this. Not like this, right? My heart can't handle this. Okay, ruling on the field is a touchdown. Awesome. Love to see it. Keep moving. Thank goodness. Hey, listen, as long as it wasn't the backup running back, guys, that's all that mattered. That's literally all that mattered. We love to see it. That's great. If Kyler is out, should I play Palmer or Hopkins in a full PPR? I'm still playing Hopkins there. If you want to play Palmer, you absolutely can, exec, but I'm comfortable playing Mr. DeAndre Hopkins today. Thank you. Gesicki or Komet? I have Komet higher on screen. Thank you. Amon-Ra or Swift in a half PPR? I probably, let me see here. Where do I have them ranked in a half PPR in comparison to each other? Where art thou? So half PPR right now, Amon-Ra is ahead of him still. I'm expecting a big week out of the receiver. I'm expecting one of those touchdowns for him this week. If Godwin can score, then I'm sure Amon-Ra can score this week. Goodness gracious, please. John S. says Darnell Mooney or Brandon Cooks. Give me Darnell Mooney there. Thank you. Is Kieran Williams a good start this week? I think I mentioned this before, and I'll reiterate. My current ranking of Kieran Williams is pure speculation. I have nothing that can actually back up statistically the reason why I have him at his current position. I am just under the impression that this organization cut Malcolm Brown earlier this week for a reason and activated Kieran Williams to the starting roster so that they can give him chances to potentially winning the starting job. That is my assumption. That is what I am making, purely an assumption. Now, he may not be the 30 back. You know, I think Darrell Henderson and Kieran Williams both on screen. If Cam Akers is the starter today and gets every single touch, it wouldn't surprise me. I think that backfield is such a mess that there's a possibility of it. But I'm assuming, considering he's coming off the IR, he's a guy that they've liked, and the rumors prior to the season beginning is that prior to going to the injured reserve, he was in that kind of rotation to potentially be the starting back before the season began. And obviously he's coming back to maybe reclaim that position, and hopefully it's the case. Especially with the backup quarterback there, they're going to have to run the ball a little bit more today. Landon Ramirez says Peoples-Jones or Khalil Herbert. In a full PPR, I'm going to play Peoples-Jones there. Because at this point, Landon, I'm kind of thinking to myself, if Peoples-Jones is going to get me 10 points, I'm pretty happy with that in my flex. I don't think I want to try to risk it. Now, you could risk it, and you can get 5 points out of... okay, this is the thought process, right? You get 10 points out of DPJ, or you get 5 or 15 out of Khalil Herbert. And that's the risk that you have to play. If you're willing to run the risk, go for it. If not, and you're with me, let's just play the DPJ and let's hope he scores a touchdown. Maybe he has the upside. Jerry Jeudy or Najee Harris in a half PPR. I'd go Najee Harris there. Melvin Gordon or Zeke. I don't have Zeke anywhere in my lineup as of right now, mainly because I don't expect him to be at a full capacity this week, even if he plays. So I'm just going to play Melvin Gordon there. Swift or Lamb? I have Lamb ahead of him. Can you read your defenses? Yeah, I will, Deku. Deku's from My Hero Academia, huh? Dude, I actually was catching up most recently on the last couple episodes that came, or specifically, I watched yesterday's episode that came out. It's getting spicy there in My Hero Academia. It really is. Why doesn't he have kickers and defenses on screen anymore? I've never had kickers and defenses on screen ever. That's why, Miles. I only mention them. I only mention them in passing. Anybody, what does it say? Anyone on waivers you would rather play than Rondale Moore? Who do you have on waivers, my man? Swift or JT in the standard league? I'd probably play Jonathan Taylor in the standard league. I'd feel a little bit more comfortable doing that. Montgomery or Debo in a half PPR? Debo. Do I watch Bleach? No. A buddy of mine who's like my anime Sherpa has told me to, but I just haven't had the time as of this, last couple months here. Obviously, with everything going on in the fantasy season. Facts, it got fired. Yeah, it got fired mainly because they just started hot this season. Like they didn't take any sort of backseat. They went full speed ahead, and they're not messing around. They let Shigaraki completely just go off. All right. Anyway, let me get out of the anime spectrum. Let's go back to some of these questions. Let's talk about our kickers and defense rankings, shall we? Before I go on an anime tangent. Here we go. Top 10 defenses for today, or for the remainder of this week. Look at Geno Smith, man. That's not a Geno Smith I've seen for the last month here. What is that Geno Smith? That ball better have been tipped. Okay, moving on. Top 10 defenses. Number 1, Philadelphia Eagles. Number 2, Dallas Cowboys. Number 3, New York Giants. Number 4, Buffalo Bills. Number 5, San Francisco 49ers. Number 6, Las Vegas Raiders. Number 7, Denver Broncos. Number 8, Kansas City Chiefs. Number 9, Arizona Cardinals. Number 10, Los Angeles Rams. That's my top 10 defenses. Moving on to top 10 kickers. Daniel Carlson, Graham Gano, Brett Maher, Cade York, Harrison Butker, Tyler Bass, Will Lutz, Brandon McManus, Robbie Gould, and Kaimi Fairbairn. All right. Hopefully that kind of helps you guys out. Plus Ultra, yeah, listen. I think that All Might is one of the best characters in all of just media in general. Forget just anime. All right, come on here. Let's get Kenneth Walker into the end zone. Let's get somebody a touchdown here. At very least, if you get me a field goal here with Jason Myers, I'm going to be in a pretty good position with my prize pick entry for today. Man, the fact that Kenneth Walker's getting those receptions, we're in a good position here. The field has thick grass. I mean, I'm listen, From all the tweets that I saw this weekend, I'm sure all these players much rather play on grass than play on turf. Mooney or Lamb for upside? Yeah, I just roll with Lamb there. Jeff Wilson or Ayuk in a full PPR? In a full PPR, it's probably Ayuk there, just as a safer option across the board. Moving on, Gallup, Zay Jones, Kieran Williams in the flex full PPR. I probably roll with Zay Jones there, Michael Lewis. Aaron Jones or Pollard, or do you just bench Goddard and start both running backs? I'd probably do that. Bench Goddard, play both running backs there. Let's see here. Best anime of all time. I mean, the one that I prefer, or at least I don't have like a huge directory of shows that I've watched, but I think Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is ridiculous. I think that's actually it's one of the best. Andrew's anime cultured. Yes, I am. I'm very much so media cultured. I'll watch anything and everything. Let's see here. Full PPR. Do I start Aaron Jones, David Montgomery, or Amari Cooper in the flex? Levi, I'm gonna suggest you go with Amari Cooper there, my man. Thank you. Pollard is a smash play if Zeke is out or questionable. Yeah, I think regardless of whether or not Zeke is active, I'm 1000% playing Pollard today. That's why I have him so highly ranked, guys. Did we get a touchdown from Lockett? Let's go. Let's go. Here we go. We got a game now, huh? We got some fantasy points coming in. Now, the whole question is, when Tampa Bay comes back out on offense, who's going to be running the ball? Is it going to be Fournette, or is it going to be Rachaad White? That's the question, because if it's going to be Rachaad White, we're in a little bit of trouble there. You know what I mean? Then Fournette is in a completely crashed position. Play Cole Kmet today, says Charles. Charles, yeah, it depends on what you have a tight end. Again, for those of you who are just joining us, we have rankings on screen. So in regards to, for example, Cole Kmet, I have him as my number 8 ranked tight end going into today. Mainly because, again, he's had himself pretty good opportunity the last couple of weeks, and he plays against the Detroit Lions. So it's a double whammy there. So yeah, if you don't have anybody that's better than him on today's list in a half PPR, then yeah, I'd certainly play him. Let's see here. Are they going for 2? Yes, they are. Oh, goodness. Run it, Gino. Okay, well, that was a fail. Let's see here. Sergio says, standard league, start 1, Thielen, Curtis Samuel, or Devonta Smith. In a standard format, I'm going to play Devonta Smith out of that group. Thank you. Dominique sends in a question. Where is it, Dominique? Dominique, there wasn't a question attached to your donor there. So if you could just do me a favor and just type it into the chat, we greatly appreciate it. Thanks. Let's see here. Full says, half PPR, Palmer, Pat Freiermuth, or Najee Harris. I think it's probably the safest option to go with Najee Harris there. But let me check my rankings. I honestly might have Josh Palmer ahead of him. Let's see. Najee, where art thou? So we have Najee Harris there. I have Josh Palmer. Yes, I have Josh Palmer at 44, Najee Harris at 49.5 PPR. So Josh Palmer would be the suggestion there. Had Higbee. Okay, good. So yeah, let's replace Higbee this week, because the last 3 weeks of Higbee have not been too compelling for us to start him, especially now with a backup quarterback. Let's see here. Kirk or Palmer, says Mike Memory Gaming. I'm going to play Christian Kirk there. For sure. Jacob says, happy Sunday, brother. Happy Sunday to all of us. Yes, let's just hope we win our matchup, stay healthy, we'll be good to go. Khalil Herbert or Cortland Sutton in a PPR? I play Cortland Sutton there. Thank you, Jacob. Rondale Moore or George Pickens in the flex full PPR? I'm going to play Rondale Moore there. I think George Pickens is not too far behind him in a full PPR, but considering the utilization that they've kind of shown Rondale Moore as of late, I think he's in a pretty good spot to have a pretty good week here. Stream the Cardinals defense, Saints or Steelers? Currently, I have the Cardinals ranked the highest there. In my mind, it would go Cardinals, Steelers, Saints if I had to pick an order, though. Kevin Smith says, PPR, need 2, Kittle, Sutton, Pittman, Curtis Samuel. Kittle is absolutely a must start there. As for the follow-up there in a full PPR scoring format, I mean, at that point, yeah, I'm just playing Cortland Sutton as the next best. I'm just pivoting there. Mainly because I don't know if you guys have, for those of you who are not aware, as of this week, the Tennessee Titans defense will not have the services of Zach Cunningham, Bud Dupree, Amari Hooker, and Jeffrey Simmons. So they have 4 of their starting defenders out this week, and they have one other rotational guy out. Their whole defense is in a pretty bad spot. So if there's less pressure in terms of pass rush onto the shoulders of Mr. Russell Wilson, he gets a little bit more time in the pocket. We're probably in a better position for those receivers to be able to make more developed routes, and specifically with Courtland Sutton having all the deep routes, majority of them, 10 to 15 yards down the field. It's a better position for him in this week. All right, let's see here. Pollard or Pierce? Yeah, we're going to go Pollard there. Connor or Wilson? Yeah, I'm playing Connor there. Swift or Pierce? I'm going to play Pierce there. Again, guys, a lot of the rankings that are on screen are pretty much going to give you an indication as to where I'd go, even in a PPR. Jack says, Mike McCarthy posted Zeke most likely out. Yeah, I mean, that was the assumption. Again, the fact that he did not have a full week of practice and the team wants to be very cautious with him, considering they are on a path towards a playoff push, that was the assumption before the week began. And once they confirm it, it'll only continue to solidify my current ranking of Tony Pollard within that top 7 position. Eric says, I'm absolutely buzzing with Godwin finally scored. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so the craziest thing that I could have potentially witnessed is not only did Leonard Fournette not come out and start running the ball, and not only did Rachaad White not come out and start running the ball, they brought out Keyshawn Vaughn. Is this an actual thing? I can't believe what has happened to Leonard Fournette. I can't. It's so much pain. Justin sends in a question, says, Fields or Hurts this week? Yeah, it's definitely going to be Jalen Hurts. Dilemma of a lifetime, what do you think? Yeah, no, it's definitely Jalen Hurts. I think, yes, Fields has been great. The amount of upside he presented last week is very rare at the quarterback position. So at this point, yeah, we're absolutely, without a doubt in my mind, playing Jalen Hurts. The last time he took on the Washington Commanders, week 3 passing touchdowns, over 300 passing yards, 20 rushing yards, had himself a great week there. Fournette is out. Oh no, hey, listen, this is why. Okay, just a fair warning. Okay, if Mugiwara in the chat is actually correct, and he's saying that Leonard Fournette is out and he's actually out, I don't know. I'm not listening to the game. This is exactly why we've picked up, what's his name? Rachaad White for the last 17 weeks. That's why he's literally been on every single running back waiver wire video for that exact reason, because got to be careful. Doubtful to return with the hip injury. He threw a pick and was like, all right, guys, I'm out. You guys finish the rest of this game. Goodness gracious. It is what it is. It happens. Scotty in the chat was asking, half PPR Sutton, Pittman, or Jamaal Williams? Out of those 3, I play Jamaal Williams. And you have Swift starting? Yes, I'd start both those guys, Scotty. Because at that point, you're not going to have any sort of leakage out of that backfield in terms of fantasy points. Fournette with an injured hip. Man, dude, Fournette, no. Not like this. Not like this. Hey, you know what? At least Fournette scored today. So he did his job for those of you guys who played him. If you were forced to play him. So, yeah. Tyron Jenkins says, thoughts on Treylon Burks' rest of season stash? I think he's a pretty good stash, ultimately because there's no one else to literally throw the ball to in that offense. Robert Woods is not a good enough option within an offense that doesn't throw the ball at a consistent level. So the only options in that offense that could actually be sustainable are guys that have deep receiving threat, potential upside. 20 or more yards down the field, can catch one ball and make their entire week, right? So I think he does have value. Hopefully they'll expand upon their passing game more often now, now that Ryan Tannehill's back and, of course, Treylon Burks is healthy. But I think he's a pretty good stash. Now, if I had to pick between him and Jameson Williams, I think I'd much rather have Jameson Williams. Let's see here. Cash Kid says, Izzy lost and that Poirier fight with Chandler was wild. Yeah, listen, I'm not even joking. Okay, let me go pull up my Prize Picks. So last night on Prize Picks, I'm like, all right, I gotta make these fights a little bit more interesting, right? So I went and made an entry. Where's my past entries? So last night, I literally had 2 different entries, okay? First one was Carla Esparza less on takedowns, and then Claudio less on takedowns. Both those were perfect. Done, finished. Then I had Poirier over on fight time, then 9 minutes. He went 12. Perfect. Done. And then I thought to myself, you know what? Israel Adesanya, his last couple fights, you know, they always go to decision. So I thought to myself, he'll definitely go more than 22 and a half minutes. With 30 seconds left on that clock, that dude takes one to the chin and then cannot miss getting smacked in the face 12 times consecutively and then gets put down. I was literally just hoping. I was praying for 30 more seconds to pass. What couldn't happen? Just couldn't happen for me. TY says, full PPR, pick one. A.J. Dillon, Jahan Dotson, Jarvis Landry, or Jalen Warren. If we're playing one in a full PPR scoring format, the highest ranked player is most likely going to be A.J. Dillon there, and then Jarvis Landry, then Jalen Warren, then Jahan Dotson. Thank you. Why Murray over Pacheco? Jacksonville seems like the better matchup. Yes, you're 100% right, Paul. You're 1,000% right. Jacksonville is significantly the better matchup. But the issue is Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Jerick McKinnon. And those two guys are consistently taking away touches from Pacheco to the point where it is difficult to start him there. Jujutsu Kaisen, gotta be my favorite anime. I mean, listen, maybe after every season of it has come out, sure, we could talk about it, but in its infancy already, just what, 2 seasons only? Or we're not even in the second season? Or completed with it? I reserve my expectations of it. I'm just gonna patiently wait. All right, let me scroll back up. What kind of questions do we see here from? Okay, so we did TY's question. Did Brady just throw a pick? Man, everyone's in shambles. Like, everyone's in shambles. We literally have a game here. Kyle Hightower says, can I drop Kyle Pitts? I picked up Njoku and Dulcich. Yes, I've already dropped him in some of my leagues. If you have the ability to have guys like Njoku and Dulcich rest season, yes, I think they're probably better plays. It's difficult to trust Kyle Pitts, and it's difficult to figure out what weeks he's going to play well. Grip says, where do you rank Claypool this week? I have Claypool at my number 40 ranked wide receiver. So he's in the conversation. He's certainly around the region. It's difficult to say that he's going to be better than some of these other options, considering I haven't seen much utilization out of him within the offense. Yes, he was at a limited capacity last week. I'm sure he's learned the full context of the playbook, but as of right now, just a little bit kind of weary with how I want to kind of progress with him, specifically in this week's matchup. Oh my God, Gino. What was that? Let's see here. Damn, just unlucky. Yeah, listen, Cash. The thing is, it's not even, I don't care about being unlucky, especially when I make an entry like that for Adesanya. It's just like, it sucks for him because he was going to win that fight. Like, if he got to decision, he wins it. But then he just got put down. And dude, those couple other fights before, yes, the Poirier Chandler fight last night was ridiculous. I mean, throwing bombs. All right, let's hear it. Allen over Dak. Yes, if again, like I mentioned before, and I'll reiterate, Josh Allen does not need the passing upside to be an absolute legend within a given week. Like, let's look at last week's production, right? 80 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, had 20 fantasy points just off rushing statistics alone. And even if he's a little bit kind of limited in his passing ability, which he won't be, the organization is not dumb enough to start him if they knew that there was a potential for re-injury and or that he's not at a full position to where he's jeopardizing the team's success. We're in a good spot here. And at that point, yes, I'm playing him over Dak. Where's Rachaad White? That's a great question, Bradley. I have no clue. I have no clue either. Let's see here. PPR, Josh Palmer, Christian Kirk, or DeAndre Swift. Oh, Vic. I want to play DeAndre Swift there, Vic, to be totally honest. But in a full PPR scoring format, it would not surprise me if Christian Kirk outscored him. But the whole thing would be Christian Kirk has to score a touchdown to do so. So I'm probably leaning in the direction of just playing Swift there. But again, I think they're all pretty good options. It's just a matter of kind of like Tyler Lockett with a clutch 4th and 4 catch. Wow. So yeah, I'm probably going Swift there, Vic. If you want next best up, it's probably Christian Kirk. Dylan or Mooney in a half PPR? Joe, I'm going to go with Mooney there. Thank you. Let's see here. Evan sends in he doesn't send in a question. He just typed it in the chat. Says, I have Herbert, JT, Etienne, Pierce, Hill, Evans, Muth, Jamaal Williams, T, Tony, Cooks, Pickens, Edmonds, Komet. Should I trade anyone? Should you trade anyone? I mean, at this point, when you have Etienne, JT, Pierce as your 3 starting running backs, you don't have to move any of them. Hill, Evans at your wide receivers, you don't have to move them. Muth is good rest of the season. Jamaal Williams is fine as another 4th option. T. Higgins is a good flex option going forward. I mean, at this point, you don't have to trade anyone. No, I think you're fine. I think if in fact Muth and or Komet start gaining value, you could like potentially use one of them as trade bait in a future week to try to make an improvement in another position. Did they call roughing, or what is that penalty? Is there a penalty, or why are they showing this replay? He slid. He made a little bit of contact with him. Are we really going to throw a penalty on that slide hit? Because I don't think that was as egregious as it could have been. Let's see here. Full PPR from Brianna says, Flex 1, we have Swift, Montgomery, Pickens, or Judy. Yeah, I'm going to play DeAndre Swift there this week. Full practice capacity on Friday. Gives me the full confidence to go ahead and fire him up. We've been waiting for this moment for a lot of weeks now. Noah Fant. Oh, my God. Did he get his last? Oh, dude. Did he drag his toe? No way, right? That would have been crazy. The Joker says, Swift or Sutton? Yeah, I'm going to play Swift there. Let's see here. Khalil Herbert or Pickens, says Stevens. I'm going to play Steven. I'm going to play Pickens. Already starting David Montgomery. Yeah, you could start both running backs, but at this point, I think Pickens is most likely the better play. Jamaal Williams or Lazard in a PPR. I'm going to play Lazard there, Sean Murphy. St. Luke sends in a question. Thank you very much. Says, Kieran Williams or Brian Robinson as my RB2. Half PPR. I'm cool in RB1. Okay, this is what I'll say. I think the Eagles matchup is favorable enough to where running backs can succeed against them in terms of running the ball. So it would not surprise me if we're in a position where Brian Robinson has a decent week. But what does a decent week look like for Brian Robinson? Probably it's like 60 rushing yards and he scores a touchdown, gets 12 fantasy points. That's a really good week, actually. That's not a decent week. A decent week is like 9 fantasy points for him, assuming he gets a couple catches. So the position that I'm in currently with Kieran Williams, oh my God, did he just catch that? Is that Marquise Goodwin? Oh my goodness. We have a game. We have a game. Let's go. For those of you who are starting Geno Smith, congratulations. That's a 2nd touchdown. We'll take that. They should probably go for 2 here again. Actually, if they go down and kick a field goal, what's the math on that? If it's 16-24, you'd have an 8-point game. Yeah, you should probably kick the field. Just kick the PAT strategically. As of right now, St. Luke, my biggest issue is if in fact Kieran Williams doesn't come out and immediately take starting reps with this team, we're probably in a position where you're going to be hurting. So honestly, even though I have Kieran Williams where I have him ranked, I think it's probably just safer to play Brian Robinson. I want to hope that Kieran Williams could be the guy, but I also don't want to put you in a position where, without me 100% knowing whether he's a starter, making you start him at that point. You know what I mean? Anyone start Marquise Goodwin? No, I have him on one of my benches in one of my deeper leagues, but I would not start him. Not when both these other receivers are available. Sean Murphy says, have you already done defensive rankings? Yeah, we could do it again. That's not a big deal. We'll get to it in just a moment. Jack says, any concerns with Kamara? With the video of him that released? As of right now, Jack, I think we mentioned this a couple weeks ago when it did release. I think it was last Saturday when we were talking about it. The main conversation that I was kind of putting forth was in regards to the video footage that has been quote unquote released to the public, right? That's already in evidence, right? Like when we're talking about like the court system and the lawsuit that he's currently dealing with, that would have already been put into evidence, I would assume, a long time ago. Now, unless that's not how the court system works, it seems to me like we're in a position where they're going to continue to delay and continue to postpone his upcoming court date for a little while. So until, and this is how the NFL works, until an actual court ruling is made, they don't start hammering people and putting people on commissioner's exempt list. So I'm not too worried about Kamara rest season. I think he'll probably face something in 2022 if in fact, because here's the thing, right? They showed the video, but there's a lot of context that's missing, right? Because there could have been stuff before the video that it transpired that caused that reaction, So there's a lot of information that's withheld. So again, innocent until proven guilty. We'll see what happens. Eric sends in a question, says Donovan Peoples-Jones or Smith? Are we talking about Devonta Smith? If it's Devonta Smith, yes, I'd rather play him. I'd rather play the Eagles wide receiver. And then Carr, a good start this week. I mean, at this point, I think he is. I believe him to be so. Yeah. Rockout says flex 2, Khalil Herbert, Brian Robinson, Zay Jones, Allen Robinson, Isaiah Pacheco. At this point, I'm playing Khalil Herbert and Brian Robinson there. Thank you. Actually, it's a full PPR, huh? It's a full PPR. I'm probably in a position then let me think about this. What do I want to do with these guys? Yeah, in a full PPR, I think I probably play Khalil Herbert, and then I follow that up with playing Zay Jones. Salvador Espinoza says, where's his question? Dylan, Tony, Wando, Robinson, half PPR. I need upside. I honestly think that the upside is probably in relation to Tony. He takes in, or he controls the role of what McCall Hardman does on a weekly basis, and I think he maybe falls into the end zone. That's what we're looking at in terms of upside. Because I think if Aaron Jones is active, Dylan doesn't have as much upside as we would anticipate, and Wando Robinson is kind of limited to whatever Daniel Jones ends up doing today. So I'd play Tony there. Just Get It Done says, do I start Pollard over JT? Yes, I would. I certainly would. There we go, Godwin. There we go. Let's make some plays, my guy. Let's go. JT says, full PPR, rest of the season. Keep Jacoby Myers or pick up Donovan. Yes, I would keep Jacoby Myers. I have Jonathan Taylor. Do I keep Deion Jackson on my IR spot, or do I drop him and pick up J.K. Dobbins? I'd pick up J.K. Dobbins. Yeah. Does Deion Jackson have handcuff value? He certainly has handcuff value, but I don't think it's enough to where I'm convinced on holding him. Because I think there's a chance that even when we get into a position where Deion Jackson is an available option, Zach Moss could be in that rotation as well. So yeah, in my opinion, I'm keeping Jacoby Myers and I'm swapping Deion Jackson out for Dobbins. Thank you. Alrighty, let's see here. Again, for those of you who are just joining us this morning, we're going to go over our kicker and defensive rankings as of right now. The rest of the rankings that are on screen are up to date as of this morning. So if you guys have any questions within interpositional kind of rankings in terms of a 4-point per passing touchdown, half PPR, hopefully those kind of help you guys out. Let's talk about top 10 kickers and defenses. Let's start with kickers now. Number 1, Daniel Carlson. Number 2, Graham Gano. Number 3, Brett Maher. Number 4, Cade York. Number 5, Harrison Butker. Number 6, Tyler Bass. Number 7, Will Lutz. Number 8, Brandon McManus. Number 9, Robbie Gould. Number 10, Kaimi Fairbairn. And to be honest, if I was to add an 11th option, it'd probably be Jake Elliott. If I was to add a number 12 option, it would probably be Cairo Santos. Moving on to our team defenses. We have the Eagles as number 1. Number 2, Dallas Cowboys. Number 3, New York Giants. Number 4, Buffalo Bills. Number 5, San Francisco 49ers. Number 6, Las Vegas Raiders. Number 7, Denver Broncos. Number 8, Kansas City Chiefs. Number 9, Arizona Cardinals. Number 10, LA Rams. I mean, that's the Rachaad White I was looking for, right? That's the guy that we know that if Fournette is going to miss time, is easily a top 15 option at running back. We just got to hope that Leonard Fournette's not out for that long. But if he is, and you have Rachaad White on your team, you could have some fantasy value going forward. I mean, he's got a lot of burst. He's got a lot of value, and he's going to be the receiving back going forward here, like we've seen all season thus far. Okay. Couple more questions sent in. Martini TV says, full PPR flex, Connor or Khalil Herbert? I'm going to play Connor there. Thank you, Martini. Appreciate it. Rockout says PPR, Jahan Dotson or Zay Jones? I have Zay Jones ahead of him in my rankings. Thank you. Let's see here. Game over, is it? Did they get the final first down? I know the 2-minute warning just hit. How many timeouts do they have left? Let's see here. Charles says, started Lamb over Godwin. Hopefully it's the right decision. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't blame you for making that decision. I would have done the same thing. I would have done the exact same thing. Do you think I should trade Joe Mixon for a better running back for the rest of the season ranking? Yes, I would. If you can, you should probably try to sell high on him. David in the chat says, WTF, no Kyler Murray question mark. When was this announced? It was not announced. The issue is with Kyler Murray that if in fact you play him or you plan on playing him, okay, and you get to the afternoon window and he is not active, then you would have to pivot to another available option. So for me, just straight assuming he's going to be active, that would be irresponsible at this point. So I'm of the opinion to where I'd rather just assume that he's not going to be active. So if you have the ability to then pivot to Derek Carr, Aaron Rodgers, Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert, Jimmy Garoppolo in the afternoon slate, that's great. But if you're in a position where you're like, all right, Andrew, I can play Daniel Jones now, or I have to wait until the afternoon, see if Kyler plays. If he doesn't, I got to start Colt McCoy. I think at that point, I'd just rather roll with Daniel Jones. You know what I mean? So that's why I have it currently as he's not on screen, because I don't know if I can trust to wait for him. And basically what I saw from Ian Rappaport last night in terms of his report, obviously he's an insider, so he knows a thing or two. He said that it seems like Kyler Murray is leaning towards probably not playing today. So I'm going to trust what Ian Rappaport had to say about it. All right, let's see here. A couple more questions sent in. Patrick says Gabriel Davis or Curtis Samuel in a full PPR scoring format. Oh, do we trust Gabe Davis significantly more over Curtis Samuel? I think Curtis Samuel is probably a solid 10 points this week. If you need 10 points, you play him. If you're looking for that, hey, I have the volatility of 5 to 15, that's Gabriel Davis for us. If you're willing to take that risk, you play Gabriel Davis. If you're not, you take the Curtis Samuel play and you roll with the 10 points. Because Curtis Samuel the last 3 weeks has been averaging about 20 rushing yards per game, on top of the fact that he's getting himself a fair amount of total receptions, which again in a matchup against the Philadelphia Eagles will be a pretty pass-heavy kind of scheme. So I'm leaning in the direction of most likely just assuming that he's going to be like a 10-point play within the given week. Now, is that a better option than Gabriel Davis? Again, the upside of Gabriel Davis makes it that much more enticing, which definitely makes it tough in that regard. Mike Simmons says, pick 2, Thielen, Pittman, Hollins, or Tony. Half PPR. Yeah, I'm gonna play with Pittman and Thielen this week. Thank you. Witt sends in a question, says, justify Darnell Mooney over Gabriel Davis in a non-PPR. I honestly don't think it's difficult to do it. The primary reason why I would even, especially in a non-PPR, when we're talking about the secondary for the Detroit Lions, they have been literally one of the worst in the league, and they're not really slowing down in that factor. The good thing about Darnell Mooney specifically, his last 4 weeks in terms of targets, 12, 6, 5, and 8. Obviously, the receiving yards, 68, 53, 70, 43. So, dude, Rachaad White is the guy, right? Am I not? Dude, Rachaad White is the guy. Just wait. I mean, if Fournette misses time, this is over. I mean, Rachaad White is going to be so valuable in fantasy. Anyway, regardless, in terms of his receiving yards, on top of his receptions, he's had pretty good value in somewhat difficult matchups over the last couple weeks here. That all being said, let's talk about what the Detroit Lions secondary has given up over the course of the last couple weeks here, shall we? Where is Detroit Lions secondary? So, this last week, obviously, Mr. Allen Lazard, 87 yards and a touchdown. The week prior, they give up over 100 yards to Waddle for 2 touchdowns, over 180 receiving yards to Tyreek Hill on 12 catches. The week prior to that, of course, the Dallas Cowboys did not even, quite frankly, pass the ball very much. 70 yards from CeeDee Lamb isn't the greatest game, but week before that, Jacoby Myers, 111 yards and a touchdown. DK Metcalf, 149. I mean, they've given up so much yardage to opposing wide receivers. It's too advantageous in my eyes, and I love using that word to pass up on the idea of playing him this week. Specifically against Gabriel Davis, who's in a snow game with with the volatility that if he doesn't score a touchdown, he is not a relevant option. That's just what it is. Rachaad White could have had a touchdown. No, he certainly could have, but he's a man of I don't know. He is a team player. Let's just put it that way. All right, let's see here. A couple more questions that were sent in here. We have Pro 922 says DPJ or Pickens this week. Half PPR. I play Pickens this week. Follow up. And is Jones a good hold for the playoffs with Watson coming back? Yes, I think Donovan Peoples-Jones is certainly a good hold for the rest of the season. Anthony sends in a question, says flex 2 PPR. Zay Jones, Mac Hollins, Jarvis Landry, or Khalif Raymond. Of the group, I currently have Mac Hollins and Jarvis Landry ranked the highest of those available. Actually, no. Hold on, wait. Let me confirm. Wait. Yeah, Jarvis Landry, Mac Hollins. Those are the highest ranked guys I currently have. TD says, sorry about the loaded question. It's not a loaded question. I don't think it is. I mean, I looked at it a little bit earlier. Is it safe to drop Higbee at this point? Yes. My other tight end is Schultz. Good. Let's drop Higbee. I trust Fields rest of the season, even in the tougher matchups. Coming forward, do I drop Cousins? I need another wide receiver. Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind that. Good to go. No problem. Roll it. Again, if in fact something happens to Fields, like he sustains an injury, sprains an ankle, something like that, while he's running the ball, or his offensive line is giving up pressure. If anything injury related is to happen, which God forbid it happens, but if it does, I don't think pivoting to Kirk Cousins wins you the league, right? So you're probably fine even in a backup position where you pivot to a lesser option. It's not a big deal. Just Get It Done says, any changes? We have Herbert at quarterback, Ekeler and Kenneth Walker at running back. We have Pollard as well in the flex. We have Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, Schultz. My bench is currently that. At this point, you're playing in a full PPR. In a full PPR, I have Olave over CeeDee Lamb, if I'm not mistaken. Let me confirm this. Yeah, I have Olave ahead of CeeDee Lamb in a full PPR. So that's the only change that I would theoretically think about making at that point. Thank you. Omar G says, Swift, JT, Sanders, start 2 full PPR. You know the answer. I'm going to play Swift and I'm going to play JT there. That's what I'm doing. Let me check this real quick. I got to go make sure some of my lineups don't have any players that are inactive. Are there any surprise inactives today, guys? If there's anything that's kind of snuck past me, that would be kind of unfortunate, but I wouldn't be surprised. Let's see here. Alex Laskin says, PPR flex, Herbert, Thielen, Everett, or Dillon. If we're playing one of those guys in a full PPR, I honestly am probably playing Gerald Everett there. It's either Gerald Everett or Adam Thielen. I think the rest of them are in a full PPR, a little bit lesser options. Walker had 7.2 standard fantasy points this week. Yeah, it's a rough one. Again, it mainly had to do with the fact that the Seattle Seahawks could not mount an early lead. If they had mounted an early lead and were able to run the ball late, there would be more upside there. But unfortunately, Geno did not produce in the first half enough to the point where they could even muster up a good performance here. I just realized that the kicker literally only had, hold up, how many points did oh no. Jason Myers. What a sad week. That's awful. Only 6 points, man. Goodness gracious. All right, I'm closing this game. I don't want to watch it anymore. Too much sadness. V27K says, hey, Andrew, what do you think about Rachaad White? Just in general, what are your thoughts moving forward? I mean, again, there's a reason why over the course of the last, I would say 6 weeks, you will have consistently seen him mentioned on my waiver wire video in terms of, hey, you should pick this guy up because be careful. He's getting more and more touches every single week, right? So I've always been part for the course of, hey, if something happens to Leonard Fournette, again, the guy has missed at least 3 games every single season of his career. If he's going to miss time, we got to be careful. They were obviously transitioning away from him in terms of running the ball over the last couple weeks here. Only, 36 total touches in comparison to Rachaad White's 26 in the last 3 games. Obviously, with this hip injury making itself known, going forward, Rachaad White's got a lot of value, especially if, in fact, Mr. Fournette's going to miss any sort of time. Let's see here. Andre says, thanks for the content, Andrew. Pick 2 in a full PPR scoring format. We have Jamaal Williams. I'm already starting Swift, Pollard, Pittman, and Judy. Yeah, at this point, in a full PPR, I think I lean towards just playing both your running backs there, Andre. I want to play Pollard without a doubt in my mind, and I think it may be just a good idea just to scoop up all the value of that backfield and just play Jamaal. If I wasn't going to play Jamaal, it would be Judy, and I don't think it's even a bad play either. I kind of feel like rolling out all those running backs and just to make sure there's nothing from that backfield that kind of leaks out. Awesome sends in a question, says half PPR Sutton, Jeff Wilson, or Samuel. I'm going to assume that Samuel's Curtis, because if it is, I'm going to play Jeff Wilson. If it's Debo, we're playing Debo. It's not a question, you know what I mean? Let's see here. LJ sends in a question. Thank you very much. LJ says, PPR, I need a wide receiver 2 and a flex. Sutton, Gabriel Davis, Pickens, and Mostert. Wide receiver 2 would be Sutton, and the flex would be Pickens. Thank you. Manola says, pick 2, A.J. Dillon, Dalton Schultz, Pat Freiermuth. A.J. Dillon, Dalton Schultz, Pat Freiermuth. Yeah, if I'm picking 2, I'm legitimately in a PPR playing both the tight ends there. Manola, 100%. I'm confident in that. Thank you. Bolster. Goodness gracious. If no Matthew Stafford, which again, it's leaning towards no Matthew Stafford, and no Murray, Cardinals or Rams defense. I currently have the Cardinals defense ahead of the Rams. It could be either of them. I currently have, just to kind of clarify, just the separation. The Cardinals defense is number 8 right now, and the Cardinals defense is number 9, and the Rams are number 10. So they're literally back to back. I could go either way, but as of right now, if I had to pick one, it's probably the Cardinals. AS says, Kadarius Toney ceiling this week higher than Najee Harris / Zeke? Well, Zeke, yes. I'm not playing Zeke. Najee Harris, probably not. If we're comparing ceilings, Najee Harris certainly has a higher one. But Zeke, yeah, I don't want to play him. I do not think he's going to be active, and even if he is, I think he'll be limited to a capacity to where Pollard is still dominating at a pretty solid capacity. Better than Suckup. He only got 2 points. Yeah, that's rough as well. Holy moly. Let's see here. Okay, again, for those of you who are just joining us this morning, welcome. After that very interesting Germany game. Either way, we have updated rankings on screen available to you guys. So if in fact you have any questions regarding any players at any position, Andrew Clark in the chat says Zeke is officially out. If that is the case, then again, the Pollard ranking continues to solidify itself on screen. While I am here ushering you guys in to the live stream, of course, showing you guys the rankings on screen as to what I have this morning, be sure to click the like button down below. Certainly does help out the channel a bunch. So if you guys could do me that solid, it'd be greatly appreciated. Colton says Allen is starting. Yeah, that was the assumption. Again, once they didn't move up Barkley from the practice squad to the active roster, the assumption was that Josh Allen was going to get the go. Joshua Lopez says Vikings defense or Cardinals. I'd play the Cardinals this week. Jeff Miller says, sorry if you covered this already, but would Brandon Cooks be on the list? I had him on the list earlier, Jeff, and I removed him off the list because I don't know if he's a safe enough option to even suggest, right? He's been inconsistent already this year. And then now that we're getting put into a scenario where, like, if I was to rank him, he'd probably be like wide receiver 41 or 42. Like, I don't have a strong enough conviction to just automatically say he has to start. So I removed him off the list. He was on there earlier today. Ryan sends in a question, says PPR, Jamaal, Jeff Wilson, Ayuk. I have Debo and Swift. In a full PPR, let me see here. Ayuk, where do I have him in comparison to these running backs? I have Ayuk at 45. I have, my goodness, do I have him higher than both those running backs? Let's see here. Where the heck is Jeff Wilson is there, and where's Jamaal Williams? I have Ayuk ahead of both of them in a full PPR. Crazy enough. Appreciate that, Ryan. Ethan Adams says, pick 3. Swift, Jamaal, Deontay, Gabe Davis. Yeah. Ethan, don't know your scoring format. Assuming it's half PPR because you didn't mention it. I would lean towards the idea of playing Swift, Jamaal, and Deontay. Thank you. Full PPR, Olave or Dameon Pierce, says Benjamin. Let's check. I'm fairly certain. Let's see here. Full PPR, flex rankings. What do we got? Dameon Pierce. I have Dameon Pierce at 21 and Chris Olave at 22. And I'm not even joking. You can ask someone that's a part of the Patreon. That's where the rankings are from. Chris, we're going to do kicker rankings in just a moment. Callaway is out. Does that bump Jarvis Landry? Yeah, I mean, it does. But, like, let's look at what, Callaway's done over the last couple of weeks. It hasn't been significant enough to where Jarvis Landry's, like, an incredible play. He's an okay play, right? Because the matchup's decent. They'll throw the ball. It's fine. White over Fournette rest of the season. I mean, again, that's under the assumption that Fournette misses any sort of time rest of the season. But it's possible. Certainly possible. Is Matt Ryan starting? No. They already named earlier this week that Sam Ehlinger was going to be the starter this week. If Matt Ryan was starting, Michael Pittman Jr. would be in the top 15. At flex, Curtis Samuel, Jeff Wilson, Sutton or Evan Ingram this week. I'm fairly certain. Yeah, I have Jeff Wilson above the bunch. Excuse me. Okay, so let me go ahead and answer one more of these questions here. We have Brian Thomas says Juwan Johnson or Harrison Bryant. I have Juwan Johnson ahead of Harrison Bryant this week. Jesse sends in a question, says full PPR, Gabriel Davis or Michael Pittman Jr. In a full PPR, I think I'm still playing Gabriel Davis. I'm fairly certain I'm still doing that. I mean, I like Michael Pittman. I don't know if I could trust him. I need one with a higher ceiling. With a higher floor. If you want higher floor, it's going to be Pittman. Because I think Pittman probably catches the ball 4 times for 40 yards. Right? You can get 8 points out of him. Gabriel Davis, unless he's scoring a touchdown legitimately or making a huge play down the field, he doesn't have floor. So if you're looking for floor, it's Pittman. As to your follow-up question, okay, never mind. This is complete separation. Gabriel Davis is the play there. As for higher floor between Henderson, Latavius, CEH, and Elijah Mitchell, I think the highest floor probably belongs to Latavius Murray there. Payne Ritchie says half PPR, Judy, Gabe Davis, Curtis Samuel. I'm going to play Judy there. Thank you. Again, the rankings on screen, guys, are for a half PPR scoring format. So as you can see, Judy is ahead of the bunch. So I do appreciate the donation, supporting the channel in that regard. But again, they could be answered on screen if you go ahead and set that up. Joshua says Rams, Cards, or Pittsburgh defense. I have the Rams. I have the Cardinals, Rams, then Pittsburgh Steelers in that order. Juju or Mooney in a full PPR. Again, I'd roll with Juju there. Touchdown upside, Dulcich or Schultz. I think neither of them have touchdown upside, but if I was to trust one, it would probably be Dulcich. What does it say? Pollard or Cook today? Yeah, I'm going to play Pollard. Again, on screen, I have Pollard. Where is he at? Number 7 overall. Yeah. Cook is number 11. They're both good options, but Pollard is significantly the higher upside play in my eyes. Let's see here. Swift or Najee Harris? Again, we're rolling with Swift. You know what I forgot to do, guys, and I'll probably do? I forgot to put my rankings in the description for those of you who are on mobile. So let me go ahead and let's do that real quick. Let me copy pasta this thing into the description of the video. So for those of you who are on mobile and maybe not home and you can't see the rankings on screen because the font is too small for like an iPhone or something of that extent, I'm going to go ahead and edit the description. So if you want rankings, you can just scroll down there into the description and just kind of filter through that to find it. Thank you. I just updated that right now. Appreciate it. King sends in a question, says, hey, dude, full PPR, Kirk, Debo, or Lazard? In a full PPR, I think I'm still... Let me check here. I think I'm still playing Debo Samuel, but Kirk Cousins. Christian Kirk is not far behind. I have Debo Samuel at 15, and yeah. Christian Kirk is still behind him. So I'm going Debo. Thank you, Andrew, on mobile. Yeah, that's what I thought. Because you were asking questions that were like, we're on screen. I was like, yeah. He's got to be on mobile 100%. So I wanted to set that up just to make sure you guys are good to go. Albert says Fields or Hurts. Yeah, I'm playing Jalen Hurts. I know Fields is a great option, guys. Don't get it twisted. But Jalen Hurts is Jalen Hurts, right? So we can trust him against Washington. Let's see here. Pickens or Gibson in a full PPR? Lord Wellington. I would probably lean towards playing Pickens there. Start Muth or Montgomery in a PPR. I'd play Montgomery there. Yeah. That's a solid one there in my eyes. Would you trade AJ Brown and Stevenson for ETN? No. I would not do that, Vowd. Or Cooper Stevenson for CMC? Or Diggs, Cooper, and Stevenson for CMC? No, I wouldn't do that either. Happy PPR. No, I wouldn't make any of those trades, Vowd. Appreciate it, though. Let me see here. Ray sends in a question. Ray, thank you very much. Appreciate it. PPR. League is slim at wide receiver. Okay, let's see here. I'm thinking about starting Wan'Dale Robinson over Olave because of the weather forecast. What is this? I just had a funny cigarette. So don't judge me. What does that even mean? What is that? I'm literally going to the Urban Dictionary to figure out what you're on about. Aha! I understand. Aha, now I get it, my man. I understand. You were consuming some vitamins. I see, some vitamins. Ah, my man. Yeah, let's take one less hit of the funny cigarette, and let's go ahead and play Olave there, my man. I think the weather. Look, I'm looking at the weather forecast right now. Let's see here. Weather report NFL. So according to the weather report for this Pittsburgh game, we have a forecast. Okay, let's go ahead and let's take a deeper dive into this. Currently, there's a 0% chance of rain, and the current wind forecast is 5 miles per hour. So again, yeah, let's enough with the. Okay, just play Olave, all right? Enough. Just let's play Olave. Thank you, appreciate it. John Aguilar says, Jamaal Williams or Darnell Mooney in a full PPR. I'd play Darnell Mooney there. Appreciate it. Thank you. Mohammed Slim says, deep league PPR, DPJ, Everett, Edmonds, Tony, Hines. Out of that group, I'm playing DPJ there. Thank you very much, Mohammed. Jorge Perez, let me go ahead and check this out. Perez. Jorge, where's your question, my man? You know what? We were looking for Dominique's question also earlier. No? Dominique, if you could do me a favor, type your question in as well as Jorge Perez. If you guys could type your questions into the chat. I know you guys sent in donos, but there wasn't anything in regards to anything attached to them. So if you guys could send in those questions, greatly appreciate that. Somebody in the chat was asking Mac Hollins or Claypool. I'm going to play Mac Hollins there. Moving on, Simply Rages says, PPR, Jamaal Williams or Cortland Sutton. I'm fairly certain, but I can confirm this. Let's see here. Sutton. So I have Sutton currently in a full PPR at number 60, Jamaal Williams at 51. So I'm playing Jamaal there. Thank you. We're going to get to defense and kickers in about 3 minutes here at 9:40 a.m. I'll mention that. Trey Perez says, hey, have Kyler. Is Lawrence a good replacement? Yes, I believe so. If so, I have Travis and Kirk. Yeah, okay, so we're going all Jaguars today, huh? In the flex, and I have Sanders. It scares me. I'm fine with it. I mean, at this point, let's roll with it. Let's just. You're good to go there, Trey. Michael Barton, top 5 defenses. Sorry, I'm late. No problem. You're good. We're gonna get to it in a second. Nick Stano says, where do you rank Brandon Cooks this week? Probably 41 or 42. Is he a worrisome start? Yeah, I think he's worrisome because I just don't know what Brandon Cooks we're going to see. Are we going to see the guy that's just going out there just to get the paycheck? Or is it we going to see the guy that's out there because he wants to help this team win? That's the issue that I'm having, right? I don't know which one it is. And I don't want to guess what his potential motivation is going into this week's game. But I know he's extremely frustrated with the fact that he wasn't traded, right? So I don't know how they're going to progress. And I don't know how he's going to kind of approach this rest of the season. That's mainly why I'm concerned. I'd rather this be a week where I learn more about Brandon Cooks as we kind of see his performance and how much opportunity he gets in this offense. As for your follow-up question here, Nick, was my other option is Latavius Murray and Jalen Warren off waivers. If you're playing in a full PPR, Nick, I'd probably just roll with Brandon Cooks. If you're not, it's a half PPR or standard, I just roll with Latavius Murray. Okay, let me see here. So we're looking for Jorge. Jorge, where are you at, my man? Jorge, where's the question? Jorge Perez is full PPR pick 2, Thielen, Olave, Sutton. It's Olave and Sutton there. Thank you. And then let me see if Dominique. That's a different Dominique, but hey, we're gonna play. We're gonna talk to Dominic here. Okay, Dominic says AJ Dillon or Devin Singletary. I play Devin Singletary in a full PPR. Thank you. Okay. Let me see here. Okay, defensive rankings. Let's talk about these, shall we? Kickers and defenses remaining. Here we go. Defenses 1 through 10. Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, Bills, 49ers, Raiders, Broncos, Chiefs, Cardinals, Rams. Okay? Top 10 defenses. Bada boom. Moving on to kickers. Carlson, Gano, Maher, York, Butker, Bass, Lutz, McManus, Gould, Fairbairn. Thank you. Alrighty. Let's see here. A couple more questions were sent in. Carlos Ruiz says PPR, flex, Kittle, Ayuk, Pickens, or Singletary. I'm playing at Kittle there. Thank you. Appreciate it. Exotic Zero says help, Terry McLaurin or DPJ this week. Terry McLaurin. Thank you. Vowed. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Let's see here. Start Treylon Brooks. Absolutely not, Marcus. Absolutely not. Not against the one and only Patrick Surtain Jr. Definitely don't want to do that. Let's see here. Olave or Dameon Pierce in a full PPR? I have Dameon Pierce ahead of him, Jones. Ayuk or Hunt in a flex? I play Ayuk there. Trey Day says Juju, Olave, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, pick 2. Unfortunately, if I have to pick 2 of those options, I think I'm sitting Juju in a full PPR. Let me confirm this. Full PPR, I have Olave. Yeah, I have 8, 9, 10. Yeah, Juju's the sit, unfortunately, in that regard. Do we like Goff today? I think we're okay with Goff today. I'm not 100% against him. I think the reason why I have him where he is, last year against the Chicago Bears, 2 touchdowns in each of those games, 200 yards in each of those games. So he's a decent play. And with Swift back, it opens up more of this offense to get a little bit more play action game kind of working. So again, as of right now, I'm okay with him. Bilbo says, not sure if you missed answering this. Would you start Swift over Debo in a standard league for upside? Yeah, I would start Swift over for Debo for this week. It's fine by me. Pyro Hype 323 says Pickett, Tannehill, Heineke, Mills, or Ellinger. Okay, currently, if I'm not mistaken, out of that group of players, I think I have Kenny Pickett the highest. I'm not even joking. Out of that group, I have Kenny Pickett at 20. I have Mills at 21, Heineke 22, McCoy 23, Tannehill 24, Wolford 25, Sam Ellinger 26. So I have Kenny Pickett the ranked highest out of that group. So yeah, that's where I'm going. All right, so for those of you who are just joining us this morning, again, welcome. As of this current moment in time, we have rankings up to date on screen for those of you who are interested in terms of a half PPR scoring format, 4-point per passing touchdown league. So Chris W in the chat was asking Ertz or Higbee. It's certainly going to be Ertz, especially if we're talking about let's talk about players specifically like, Higbee or Ertz. Ertz typically catches the ball at a higher rate. There's a backup quarterback for the Rams. You know the answer to that. You play Ertz, you're good to go. But also the rankings on screen could also kind of lend a little bit more insight as to where you should go. Let me see here. Melvin says full PPR. I need 2. Sutton, Wandle, Burks, Christian Watson, Tony, Hardman out today. I would play Sutton and I would play Tony there. Melvin, thank you. Appreciate it. Pierce or Montgomery? Taylor, I'm playing Pierce. Again, for those of you who are on mobile, maybe you're not home, maybe you're out and about, seeing the world. There are rankings in the description of the video for those of you who are interested in terms of if you can't see the rankings on screen because they're too small and not legible. So it's in the description of the video. Just go ahead and scroll down there, open up the description and just scroll. Why did you take the Titans defense out of your top 12 defenses? The primary reason was because the Tennessee Titans, let me pull up their injury report. It is absolutely ridiculous. They fought pretty hard to try to win that Kansas City game, and the fact that they didn't win that game really does put their defense in jeopardy. Zach Cunningham is out, as well as Bud Dupree, Amani Hooker, Jeffrey Simmons, Josh Thompson, and then we also have Christian Fulton, which is one of their primary cornerbacks. He's questionable to play with a hamstring. We also have Kevin Strong, defensive tackle, questionable with an ankle. I mean, you have nearly half of your defense either out or questionable. That in itself is worrisome to me, to where I'm like, yeah, let's probably not suggest them this week. They could end up being a decent defensive option. I don't trust it. I think there's too many injuries within that core to risk it on that. Thank you. Let's see here. What do we have? Palmer or CEH? Yeah, we're certainly going to play Palmer there. Pittman or Devonta Smith? Devonta Smith. 7 starters out of 7. Yeah, Tennessee defense are out. Yeah, Torres has got it. He's on it. For defensive rankings, did you mention that Saints? No, I'll go over it again. Let's go over it one more time, okay? Just so we're all on the same page in terms of rankings. So I have it Philadelphia Eagles number 1, Dallas Cowboys number 2, New York Giants number 3, Buffalo Bills number 4, San Francisco 49ers number 5, Las Vegas Raiders number 6, Denver Broncos 7, Kansas City Chiefs number 8. We have the Arizona Cardinals number 9 and the Rams number 10. If I was to rank other defenses, okay, I would say that the Saints, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Indianapolis Colts could probably be in that 11 to 13 range. Those are probably the 11 to 13 range. As for kickers, right, let's go over this again. Daniel Carlson, Graham Gano, Brett Maher, Cade York, Harrison Butker, Tyler Bass, Will Lutz, Brandon McManus, Robbie Gould, Kaimi Fairbairn, in that order. Thank you. All right, hopefully that's probably going to be the last time I mention kickers defense. Hopefully you guys have that all ready to go. Tony or DeAndre Swift? Eric, I'm going Tony there. Why would we go to? I mean, like, again, Tony Pollard number 7, Swift number 12. You know my answer. I'm going 100% in with Tony Pollard today. Jorge Perez, let's see what you had here, my man. Jorge, where art thou? Jorge says, let's see, what is this question? Second league, full PPR. My wide receiver I have are Lamb, Palmer, Moore. Are they good starters? Can I pick up Josh? I can pick up Deontay Johnson, Pickens, DPJ. At this point, yeah, you're fine with what you have. I'm fine with that. I mean, are we talking about just this week or rest of the season? Because if we're talking about rest of the season in a full PPR, I'd be pretty inclined to pick up either Pickens or Deontay Johnson. But it would only be after Hollywood Brown comes back next week. I would be willing to drop Rondale Moore for one of those guys like Pickens or Deontay Johnson. That's where I'm kind of leaning in the direction of. Thank you. Dominic says, have a good day. Thank you very much. Yeah, listen, Dominic, you got your question answered because somebody else that donated by the name of Dominique sent in the question. So you were caught in the crossfire in a lucky situation, my man. But you're welcome. Taylor's going to run wild over the Raiders defense. Kyle, you know what? From your fingertips into the binary of the internet to, the ears of the fantasy gods. Let's hope so. Rachaad White next week? Question mark. Yeah, pretty good chance he's gonna have himself a pretty good week next week, huh? Pollard or Jamaal Williams over Pierce? Yes, I would play only Pollard over Pierce. Jamaal Williams would not be a starter over Pierce. Simply Rages says full PPR Jamaal Williams or Cortland Sutton this week in a full PPR. I have Jamaal Williams ahead of him. Thank you, Simply Rages. Sorry, that was earlier today. My apologies. Going back to the newer ones that we were sent in. M. Kessler, 83 says non-PPR. Are we playing James Conner or are we playing McLaurin? I'm going to play James Conner this week. Thank you. Sergio says Foster or Knox in a standard. In a standard scoring format, I'm still playing Foster Moreau. I think Knox could very easily score himself a touchdown. I just don't. Man. You know what? Goodness gracious. You have Josh and Gabriel Davis already going. I don't want to start too many Bills. Yeah, I'm already against the idea of starting Knox in the first place there. So I probably just lean away from it. On top of the fact that you have all those Bills already playing. Alex sends in a question, says, hey, Andrew, one flex spot open. We have Brian Robinson, Kieran Williams, or Latavius Murray going in there. At this point, assuming it's a half PPR, I'm probably going Latavius. Ignacio says, I'm watching Andrew on the TV. Take me off the TV. I don't deserve to be on the TV. Flex Najee Harris or George Pickens in a PPR. Fairly certain. Yeah, we're going to go Najee Harris there. Mooney or Najee Harris in a half PPR. I'm probably going to go Najee there as well. Drop Dak Prescott for OBJ. I've got Allen and Watson. I mean, here's my concern, right? If in fact you drop... here's my primary thing. I think that Dak Prescott is going to be the better quarterback than Deshaun Watson rest of the season. So if anything, you should be dropping Watson because if anything is to happen to Allen within the next 2 to 3 weeks here, you at least have an option to pivot to. While if you have Watson and you drop Dak, you lose Dak, somebody picks him up, and then you're starting, Sam Ehlinger in week 12. You know what I mean? Then we're in trouble. Or Case Keenum. Alex sends in another question. We already did Alex's question. We're good to go. Tyron Smith says, I have Michael Pittman Jr., Adam Thielen, Smitty, and McLaurin, but can only start one. I'm leaning towards Smitty. Yeah, I'm in the same position. I played Devonta Smith there. Thank you. Andrew Noble says, I see your rankings, but for real, half PPR, Cortland Sutton or Deontay Johnson. What makes you think I'm going to tell you to place Cortland Sutton over Deontay Johnson when it clearly says on screen that I'm doing the opposite, right? So for real, I'm playing Deontay Johnson. You may be thinking, Andrew, is that really smart? Hey, what Cortland Sutton has done to my mental capacity, my actual mental health over the course of the last month here, he has absolutely shattered it. I don't trust Cortland Sutton at a capacity to where I'm starting him there over Deontay Johnson. And again, I don't trust Deontay Johnson much, but I'm assuming the absence of Claypool will open up a little bit more work for them. Did anybody notice that Rachaad White took over the Bucs backfield today? Andrew, thoughts? Did anybody notice, bro? Someone go back to my Tuesday video and go to the Rachaad White section. Or go to the Leonard Fournette section, then go to the Rachaad White section. Please. Somebody go check out the video. I literally told you guys during the Tuesday video, I wouldn't be surprised if Rachaad White takes over the job. I literally said these things. Now, this time it was due to injury. I wasn't expecting it due to the fact of injury, but nonetheless. Okay, let's see here. What do we have here? Ninja Turtle says Gibson, Henderson, or Ayuk in the flex. Half PPR. Gibson, Henderson, Ayuk in the flex. Half PPR. 10 team, yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that, Ninja Turtle. Let me see here. In a half PPR, Ayuk. What do we? Nope. I needed F. Control F function instead of F3. Ayuk, and then where is... And okay, so I have Ayuk ahead of Gibson. And who was your other option? It was Henderson? Yeah. So Ayuk is the start this week. Thank you. Appreciate it. Rockstar says D-Hop without Kyler, Swift, or Judy in the flex full PPR. I would play Swift there this week. Thank you. Let's see here. Juju or Amari Cooper in a PPR scoring format. I have Juju ahead of him in a full PPR. Just to confirm, in a full PPR, Juju, where art thou? Where's my rankings? I have Juju at, yeah. I have him. Does it change in a full PPR compared to a half? Let me see. Yes. Juju is one spot higher. Juju is my number 12 in a full PPR compared to number 13 and a half. Amari Cooper stays same in both formats at number 14. Let's see here. Derek Carr, Aaron Jones is my super flex. I'd probably play Derek Carr there. Would you trade away Kittle high and ride with Dulcich the rest of the season? Depends what you get in return. I don't mind the idea of trading him, but you have to get enough value to compensate for it. Would you also go Cooper over Juju? Yeah, I'm playing Juju Smith-Schuster there, Colton. Michael Gallup or Donovan Peoples-Jones? I'm playing Donovan Peoples-Jones. Would you recommend DPJ over Pittman? I wouldn't recommend him at that point. I think they're very similar plays in terms of what their potential is. I think they could both easily get themselves 4 or 5 catches, 40, 50, 60 yards. The touchdown upside is probably neither there for either of those options, but I give Michael Pittman some sort of benefit of the doubt because there is the potential that this offense is better than it's been in weeks past. But at this current moment, I don't really like, quite frankly, I don't like both those options in any sort of capacity. I think they're lower end wide receiver threes at very best in a half PPR, where I kind of currently have them ranked. They're probably both like 7, 8, 9 point plays within this given week. Everett or Moreau, and I play Everett this week. Thank you. Freiermuth or Dulcich? It's Dulcich. CeeDee Lamb or Jonathan Taylor in a PPR? CeeDee Lamb. Jerry Jeudy or Michael Pittman Jr.? It is Jerry Jeudy. Would you start Pickens over Mooney? If you already have St. Brown playing? No, I play Mooney either way. Vowd says, thoughts on my team rest of season? Allen, Dak. I mean, look, your team was so stacked at this point, Vowd, that the trades that you were suggesting that you were potentially going to make were not doing your team any sort of service. They were, in fact, hurting your team. I would keep it as is. There's nothing to pivot from. You have so many good options at both primary positions, and you have a solid quarterback room. So I have nothing to complain about there. You got a pretty solid team rest of the way. Amon-Ra or Amari? I'm going Amon-Ra. Thank you. Akeem, 56, says Pittman or Curtis Samuel. I'm going to play Curtis Samuel there probably. Thank you. Fanel Fabulas says, start 2 PPR, Pickens, Davis, Pittman, or Sutton. It's Pickens and Sutton. Thank you. Swift, Montgomery, or Kittle. I'm playing Swift there. Freiermuth or Dulcich. Again, guys, rankings are on screen. Up to date. If you can't see it, go down to the description of the video. Should help out a lot. I have rankings set up down there so that you can kind of visually have a representation. But in terms of that question, I do have Dulcich ahead of Freiermuth. Anyone starting Josh Allen or roll with Jimmy G? Says everything. Oh, man. That is very interesting, huh? How does Kyler's absence affect Rondale Moore's ranking in a half PPR scoring format? Also, listen, at this point, I think Colt McCoy is a capable enough quarterback to where they're going to get themselves the targets that they need and the receptions that they need. I think in terms of total touchdown upside, it's not going to be existent as much. Saints defense or Rams, says Sebastian. I would play the Rams defense this week. Thank you. Pickens or Dulcich? I'm fairly certain I have Dulcich ahead of him in my rankings. Thank you. Let's see here. Rondale Moore or Jamaal Williams in a full PPR. I think I'm just going to play Jamaal Williams there. Butker or Harrison Butker or Matt Gay. At this point, I have Harrison Butker ahead of him. Jaden Thornton, thank you very much, says, drunk trade, Leonard Fournette and JJ to get Najee Harris, CeeDee Lamb, and T. Higgins. What do you mean drunk trade? Are you still drunk from last night? What's going on here? What do you mean drunk trade? What are you doing, my man? Only other was Sutton. My running backs are Kamara, Mixon, Pierce. White, thoughts. We're trading away Fournette and JJ for Najee, CeeDee Lamb, and T. Higgins. Ugh. I mean, I'm okay with it. I guess I'm okay with it. It just depends on what that injury status for Fournette is. I think we should just wait until this week kind of surpasses and then make the decision. I don't think we need to make it right now. Nike shirts all day. Hey, listen, dude. If I told you how many of these shirts I had, you guys wouldn't believe me, okay? You guys would not believe me. Constantino, that's what happens when someone puts Harrison Butker and Matt Gay. I literally went Harrison Gay. I'm telling you guys, I mix up words a lot when I'm reading them. Who has more upside? Najee Harris or Montgomery? Montgomery does. Dulcich, Tunyon, Fryer, Muth. Yeah, it's Dulcich this week. Felipe. Luis Castillo says, standard league, Herbert, Palmer, or sub in Daniel Jones. If you want, you can play Herbert. I prefer Daniel Jones slightly ahead of him, so that's probably my suggestion at this point. We have Patriot says, good morning, Andrew. Cole Kmet for Chicago or Taysom Hill in a standard league? I'm going to play Cole Kmet there, certainly. I think he has a lot more touchdown upside based on matchup against the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions giving up their fair share of points, so I'm for sure going with there. Taysom Hill scored more points with Mark Ingram out. Mark Ingram was out last week, and it didn't really make a difference. Taysom Hill really does need literal 5-yard line and in opportunity. Otherwise, he's not going to score on a rushing attempt. So Cole Kmet's the play. Thank you. Raiders or Saints defense? I have the Raiders higher. Waffles or pancakes? Both. I don't discriminate against either. Tony or Hollins? I have Hollins ahead of him. Raiders have the worst defense. They certainly do, but perhaps the Colts might have the worst offense. You don't know. We don't know yet. We got to wait and see what the heck. I hope Jeff Saturday wins today. Guys, I'm telling you, I hope the Colts win. With all my heart, I hope the Colts win. I truly do. I hope Jonathan Taylor pops off. I hope he goes for 40 points, right? But I don't know if that's a possibility. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for them. But I really do hope that they win this game so they can shut everyone up to the point where it's like, all right, now we can start, good to go. So they can shut me up mainly, right? I don't want to have to worry about Jonathan Taylor for the rest of the year. I want a team that can win so they don't have any sort of potential for sitting him. You know what I mean? Jamaal Williams or Devonta Smith. In a half PPR, I'd probably play Jamaal, but in a full PPR, I'm probably playing Devonta Smith there. Okay. Do appreciate you guys sending in all these questions. That's pretty much going to cover it there. Khalil Herbert is a flexible start this week, or only touchdown dependent. I think he's a flexible start if they command an early lead. If we expect the Chicago Bears to win this game and the fourth quarter be running the ball to kill clock, then Khalil Herbert has value. Other than that, he's touchdown dependent. What do you think about Dotson rest of the season? Depends. Let's see what Heineke kind of utilizes him at this week, because if Taylor Heineke isn't looking in his direction, there may not be much value for Jahan Dotson rest of the way here. Is Gabriel Davis worth keeping on roster? Yes. Najee Harris or Josh Palmer, full PPR? Good question. Let's see here. Let's look up Palmer in my rankings. Palmer. And then where is he in comparison to Najee? I have him ahead of Najee Harris. Yeah, I have him ahead of Najee Harris this week in a full PPR. Thank you. Jarvis Landry or Kadarius Toney? I have Kadarius Toney's 2 spots ahead of Jarvis Landry in a half PPR. Mostert or Sutton? I'd go with Sutton. Should I start Moreau or Everett? I have Everett ahead of him. Okay. Cheers. Thank you, Rooster. Appreciate that. It's time. It is time. Everett or Herbert? I'd probably just play Everett in a half or full PPR. Just to be safe and just roll with that kind of production. But if you want upside, it's probably I don't know. Yeah, it's probably where we're going. Okay. I do appreciate y'all. Jamaal or Swift? It's Swift. Again, Swift is significantly higher on my rankings, my man. So that's the way I'm going. Alrighty. I do appreciate it, guys. 7 hours of commercial-free football. Listen, I wish I had that job. To sit there on NFL Red Zone and do what Scott Hansen does, that'd be awesome. Either way, thank you guys. I do appreciate it. I love this job as well. You guys continue to support. For those of you who have not yet already, do me a favor. Click that like button down below. Also, if you guys want to continue to play fantasy at your fingertips in terms of daily fantasy, picking more or less on a given player statistic, be sure to check out Prize Picks today. Use promo code Andrew when you do so and make a first-time deposit. You'll be given a first-time deposit match up to $100. So pretty much a first-time deposit match doubled immediately. So if you're interested, use that. Click on the link down in the description. Thank you very much. All right, guys. I do appreciate it. Tomorrow, we'll talk about waiver wire pickups. Of course, Rachaad White's going to be number one, even though I've had him on the list for 12 consecutive weeks. Martini comes back and says waffles or pancakes. If I had to choose, let's say I'm going to an actual breakfast spot, I'm probably just picking pancakes. Yeah, I'm just picking pancakes. I'm not Tim the Tap Man. I'm not going for the waffles. Just give me the pancakes. Let's not mess around here. All right, guys. Do appreciate it. I'm going to cue the music. And then I'm going to go take a nap because I'm running on 1 hour of sleep. Do appreciate y'all. And until next time, tomorrow, I'll see y'all.